It's time to golf, Wisconsin. It's time to enjoy the bog.
This is Brian Balaga. You're listening to 94.5 ESPN.
94.5 ESPN is WKTI. Brand station.
Three-time Wisconsin Sports Writer of the Year, Jason Wilde.
There aren't any Jasons 12 and under. That's a dead name.
Packers Hall of Famer, Mark Tauscher.
How many kids do you hear, hey, Marky? It might be almost to the point of Ruth.
Live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studios in downtown Milwaukee at the 3rd Street Market Hall.
You love that name so much, you don't even go by it.
If you call me Mark, I'm fine. I like my name. I like my name a lot.
This is Wilde and Tausch.
Wilde and Tosh.
It's Wilde and Touch, isn't it?
Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
Monday edition. You cannot deny that the Packers smacked it out of the park with their picks. That's forced. That's lame. But some funny names. That was fun. And I do think, and I'll explain later, if you grade based on doing what you needed to do, not knowing if the players are any good or not, because no one does, including Goody, I think they had a pretty good weekend. We'll see if Gabe agrees. Edition. The scheduled to appear on his own program, the Packers Hall of Famer Mark Tauscher edition. And we will get your thoughts as well as give ours on the Packers draft class edition of Wilde and Tausch. A 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee, 100.5 ESPN Madison, 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam, ESPNWisconsin.com, the ESPN app, your Alexa smart speaker, streaming live video, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and of course everything you need on the amazing, stupendous, fantastic, incredible ESPN Wisconsin app, which A is free, B is customizable, so you can put Wilde and Tausch in front of Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, so you can make sure you get to your favorite show quicker, and can be found in both the Android and Apple app stores. I'm Jason Wilde in Green Bay. Jesse Nelson is in the Everlight Solar ESPN Madison studios. And from an offshoot of the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studios, inside GKB World Headquarters at the 3rd Street Market Hall at the Avenue in downtown Milwaukee. He is the hardest working man in radio, and anyone who would ever question his work ethic is just deranged. Or maybe just misspoke, or maybe didn't know all the facts. He is our cousin sub of the day, cousin subs, we believe it better. He is Gabe Neitzel. Gabriel, thank you for your service, doing all these other shows in addition to national shows, taking an unexpected day away from Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, criticized and compared to Jesse Nelson by some ne'er-do-well who was on your program. It's great to be with you.
Good morning, Jason. Good morning. Great to see you. And based on that introduction, I guess we're no longer fighting. That we're good now, right? We're no longer butting heads.
We may fight over Jaden Reed again.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. I'm good with that.
But you handled with grace my suggestion that maybe with the draft going on, I was a little surprised that you were not on your actual show, and then I felt like I was ambushed later on in the day.
I was just doing what I was scheduled to do, Jason. That's all I was doing. And then you
lo
were
and
doing what you
behold,
were scheduled to be doing. However, you did not realize that I was the one that would be talking to you. After you diminished my work ethic, compared me to one Jesse Nelson.
I'm offended
this? How come I'm getting thrown under the bus for this?
I think, given your scheduling history, it was unfair of me to compare Gabe to you. It was probably not unfair for me to suggest that you take more time off than most. I think I'm on solid ground there. But we are thrilled to have Gabe now. He is our cousin sub of the day, but scheduled to appear on the program is Mark Tauscher. Like, this is something that I normally do, Jesse. Are we sure? Like, I may be off, but I'll appear on the program for a couple segments. Is this true? He is going to join us?
As of last communication with Old T, he is at an undisclosed location. He may or may not share eventually where he has been, both Friday and today. He is scheduled to appear coming up in about 10 minutes.
You got some sort of youth sporting tournament he's at?
I am not at liberty to disclose the big fella's undisclosed location.
I didn't ask where it was. I just asked what it was.
I don't think it was that. I think it was a different type of competition. And I will leave it at that, and we will see if he shares further information. It was not, I can also tell you, it was not the World Pickleball Championships, which I don't know when those occur, but, with his bad knee, much like Ed Rooney in Ferris Bueller's Day Off, he shouldn't throw anybody.
Does he, when he can't play pickleball because of the knee, does he get a little cranky? Just because on our show. So last year on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, because, again, I feel like I can say this and he would not taking it disparagingly, Chewy's a meathead. Like, he still works out every single day. Looks like, he is proud of that. And he looks fantastic, right? But, again, he's starting to get up there in age and decided that he needed to show off. And because he thinks, like, all these other, like, 20-somethings in the gym are, like, his competition. So he's got to put 315 on the bench and start repping it and showing off. And so he blows out a bursa sack in his elbow. And he couldn't lift for, like, over a month. And he got pretty cranky. Chewy got pretty cranky when he couldn't work out. So I wonder if it's similar for Tausch and pickleball, because we all know how much he loves the pickler and pickleball and all these great things. But does he get a little cranky when he can't get the pickleball in?
Yeah, I don't know how. I feel like he's been sidelined for a while. I think the knee has. So maybe that would correlate with him being cranky for a while. I don't know. I think he's been a treat. So I would never, again, having learned a hard lesson in questioning others' motivations or feelings or approaches or work ethics. I think he's been just a peach to deal with every single day of my life. So I don't sense any crankiness
even when
for any reason.
Annoys you on purpose. Because he knows how to. You guys have worked together long enough. He knows how to push your buttons.
Yeah, 10th anniversary coming up. Big celebration, I'm told. Look, like any pairing, couple, if you will, we all have idiosyncrasies that irritate either our better halves at home or our partners on the air. And I'm sure that I know that I irritate him, and he never irritates me at all. I'm just thankful that he does the show. And all kidding aside, like, the guy played in the league for 11 years. He's a really smart businessman. I wouldn't say that I live in fear of this all the time, but I am acutely aware that he could say, "Yeah, I've had enough of this." So I am never going to push the envelope of whining and complaining when he is maybe just a teeny tiny little bit grumpy. So no, he's the GOAT, and again, I don't brag about many things. Maybe my kids on occasion, but the one thing I brag about work-wise is Evan Cohen and Craig Karmazin asking me who I wanted to do a radio show with if I could pick anybody in the world. And I picked him, and I was right. We will see if Goody is as right about some of his picks. That's a professional segue. I could do national radio right there, don't you think?
Absolutely.
Yeah, just like you. Except I don't want to. So he made 6 picks. Before we get to Old T, how do you feel about the tiniest draft class tied with 2001 when Ron Wolf was technically in charge but let his successor, Mike Sherman, the coach and GM then, make the picks. Otherwise, he would have taken Chris Chambers instead of Robert Ferguson. 2002, which was the first year that Mike Sherman was, in fact, in charge officially of the draft, and 2004, which was the last year Mike Sherman was in charge of the draft. All three of those classes also with only 6 players. And congratulations, now 6 players this year. What was your overall takeaway of just a 6-player class?
So I was feeling I liked what they did again with Brandon Cisse. You know, again, you get the biggest position of need, the one position where you figure there's going to be an open competition for the final starting spot. Keyshawn Nixon on one side, and now it's either going to be, I think, either Cisse or St. Juste, or I guess Carrington Valentine would be a part of that competition too. Maybe Damani Jackson, who's one of their 6th-round picks, can factor into that as well. Switching to the 3-4, you wanted a little bit more beef. Obviously, they were rumored to be interested in Dexter Lawrence from the Giants before he went for the 10th overall pick to Cincinnati. So you get some of that beef with Chris McClellan, traded up to get it. Joshy's guy, Dennis Sutton. Yeah, you needed more edge pieces. Who knows with Micah Parsons? Okay, that makes sense. Jagger Burton? Okay, makes sense. Again, I think they need somebody on that interior. I think they feel good about, and I guess Goody says he feels good about all their offensive linemen, which I have a tendency to doubt. But it seems like the way that they've trusted Darian Kennard in the past, that Kennard can kind of be that swing tackle, and you have some competition going for some of those depth pieces on the interior. The Trey Smack piece, I'm just really interested and curious about, Jason, because I don't think you ever need to draft a kicker. I really don't. And I understand there are some fans who are upset with Brandon McManus. Cool, I get it. But you were already going to have some sort of competition with him and Lucas Haversick, and the way they handled the kicking competition last year and the way they held on to Haversick because they were scared, and then he still ends up on the practice squad and nobody grabs him, and all these different things at the kicker position. I guess I have questions, especially for somebody who wants to have as many draft picks as humanly possible. And now apparently all of the RB2 eggs are going in the Marshawn Lloyd basket, which make me uncomfortable. I've got questions as to why you gave up your final 2 picks to go trade up for a kicker when there are so many examples in the NFL of undrafted guys having a ton of success. The highest paid kicker in the NFL is an undrafted free agent in Brandon Aubrey. So I think I would not have done that. I get wanting to improve there, but if you have 3 kickers, do you have 1?
So I want to make sure we get to the big fella in a reasonable amount of time. So I will save my commentary for after we've talked to him, and we will get his thoughts coming up. I don't think your point is off base by any means. On either the 2 takeaways that I would say I agree with you on that are negative are, as Pete Doherty said, to Brian Gutekunst and Matt LaFleur, old. I don't want to call him a codger, but he is older than me. But Pete Doherty, basically, he didn't ask a question, and he's, in my opinion, as good as it gets. Him and Tom Silverstein are still, they still have their fastballs. But basically, he said to both Goody and LaFleur, you can't really go into the season with you can't count on Marshawn Lloyd to be your number 2 running back, can you? Given his health? I mean, it was nice of him to add "can you" at the end, so it was a question.
Yeah,
but
I
it was
heard
pretty
the run up because it was very much a declarative statement.
It's pretty clear where Pete fell.
And that's like when Chewy, says a statement and then just at the end goes right. So now it's a question because he adds right with the question mark at the end.
I've learned how to navigate that when he does that. And then the other one that I would say is, and I said this to Goody, and we'll get into it further later in the program, but like the whole idea of McManus was that you dealt with a rookie kicker in 23 with Anders Carlson. Then you dealt with a rookie kicker for the first half of 2024 in Braden Narveson, better known by Tauscher as Narv Dog.
Yeah, the Narv Dog.
And then, look, did Brandon McManus suck in the playoff game? Yeah, you know who said he sucked? Brandon McManus. He called it the most embarrassing performance of his career. So he was aware that he let his team down. I would also argue that the conditions in Chicago, while it's his job to put the ball between the uprights, weren't exactly a sunny late fall day in Miami. So,
well, but
yes.
Jason, the counter to that is if they do what they are expecting to do and what their goals are going to be and win the division, guess what it's going to be like at Lambeau Field at a similar time of the year.
Well, and then my counter to your counter is it's great that your potential new kicker, who is not being given the job, by the way. No, we're not giving it to him. It's competition. Even though you drafted him.
Well, I guess the fun part about this competition, Jason, is either they're flushing $1 million down the drain or a draft pick.
Correct. Or both if they keep Haversing.
Now I know what I'm rooting for.
But it's great that he played lacrosse in the state of Maryland and kicked in high school in the state of Maryland. But he kicked at Florida. So he can say that he's not fazed by the cold weather and what that'll be like. But it's going to be a factor. It's a factor for Brandon McManus, who knows how to do it.
Well, and even if, but the problem, I guess it's not a problem, but the issue I have with college kickers in general, Jason, and this is maybe why especially some of them fail when they get to the AFC North and really the NFC North, I guess just Chicago and Green Bay, since the other two play inside, but they still have to occasionally play outside, is even if you kick at Minnesota, even if you kick at North Dakota State, November's still pretty mild. Mm-hmm. And that's when your college football season ends. Like maybe, just maybe, if a place like Notre Dame, because it was pretty cold, they had the snow when Notre Dame hosted a playoff game a couple of years ago, maybe you kick there. But then after that, it's neutral site games and it's indoors and nice weather. So even if you are a kicker that's coming from the Big Ten and one of these cold climate places, you're not kicking in game situations when it's actually cold the way that it was in Chicago back in January.
Again, we will get further into the kicking situation. Think about these two questions, though, as we get ready to talk to Tauscher, and then we'll take calls on the Carbless Talk and Text line after we talk to the big fella. One, just overall, how good, bad, or indifferent do you feel about this draft class? The size, the players they picked, the positions they covered. Two, who's your favorite and who's your least favorite pick of the draft? Who do you feel really good about, and who are you like, eh? And I feel like Trey Smack may get a lot of smack talk in the answers from our fans. You can text for now, 844-770-3776. That is the Carbless Talk and Text line. This is more. But joining us on the Yingling Guest Hotline, next, a guest on his own show. Mark Tauscher is next. It's Wildy and Tausch.
Wildy and Tausch is presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Tiara from Events by Design here. We were thrilled to work with Thanasis Antetokounmpo on Thanalysis Live.
Welcome to the stage, Nature Boy, Rick Flair.
Events by Design, a proud partner of Thanalysis.
Mr. Pat Murphy.
Events by Design. We design, you party.
From large manufacturer to local pizza shop and every business in between, Summit Credit Union helps your vision take shape with loan programs, great rates, and strategic solutions. Whatever you're building, you've got this. And Summit Credit Union's got you. Got your tax refund? Before it mysteriously disappears, invested in something you'll actually see every day. Your home. At Exterior Pros and Baths, turn that refund into energy-efficient windows, durable roofing, new siding, or a beautiful bath remodel. And they'll take it even further with $3,000 off your project. That's $3,000 in instant savings during the April savings event. But don't wait, this offer won't last long. Call 262-800-4274 or visit extpros.com today. Exterior Pros and Baths. Big savings done right.
Your grill just got an upgrade, and it's right down the road.
Burn Pit BBQ is now available at Walmart.
That means no waiting, no guessing. Just grab it, fire up the grill, and get to work.
We're talking premium rubs, sauces, and seasonings made for real flavor and real results.
Every single time you cook.
Whether it's a quick weeknight dinner or a full weekend cookout with friends and family, Burn Pit BBQ helps you bring bold, consistent flavor to every bite.
Head to your local Walmart and find Burn Pit BBQ today, right in your neighborhood.
Because better BBQ should be easy to get and even easier to enjoy.
An ESPN Radio Extra Point with Michelle Smallman.
He's Jordan Love. when Aaron Rodgers was upset because instead of getting him a weapon at a certain stage of his career, they went out and planned for the future. There was immediate pressure on Jordan Love to step in and be that guy, to prove the front office right. And Ty Simpson's going to have that at some point. I'm really conflicted on this pick because in the immediacy of it, I was like, that's smart. Matthew Stafford, he's 38. He's entering the last stage of his career. He's still playing at such a high level, and this is a team that's already built to compete for a championship, and they're using this moment to plan for the future. Smart. But then the other part of me is like, but if you know that Matthew Stafford is still playing at an MVP level, why aren't you going all in right now? You've done it already this offseason, shoring up your secondary. You've made moves that tell us that you're ready to win right now. Why not also do that in the draft?
Download to see if you qualify. Not all customers will qualify. Transfer fees may apply. No Albert subscription required. Albert is not a bank. Albert Instant Loans are issued by FinWise Bank, member FDIC. Not an actual client. Terms apply.
Kylie, what's wrong? I just got hit with a car repair bill. I'm behind on rent, and I feel like I can never save any money.
Have you tried the Albert app? Albert is your financial assistant, helping you find ways to save and create custom budgets to actually grow your money. Plus, you can get up to $10,000 for big expenses, or advance up to $1,000 fast when you need cash right away.
Albert can get me up to $10,000?
Exactly. Albert spots you in a pinch and helps you grow your money in the long run.
I'm downloading Albert right now.
Download the Albert app and use promo code VALUE to borrow up to $10,000 for whatever you need. The Albert app helps you budget better and save more money, so you reach your financial goals faster. Download the Albert app right now and use promo code VALUE to borrow up to $10,000. Use code VALUE to borrow up to $10,000.
Prizes, flyaways, even cash money. You want it? We've got it. Find a list of all contests and official rules by visiting ESPNWisconsinContests.com.
That's ESPNWisconsinContests.com. You're listening to Wildy and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
As we work to connect with the big fella from his quite literally undisclosed location, has not been disclosed to moi. Gabe, I feel like a 6-player class for where they were at was less than ideal. At the same time, I would say that I thought Goody's explanation for why he did what he did was quite good. Like, I really found it to be very convincing that the way their board fell, that he didn't feel like there was value in those 7th-round picks. Now, whether you trade up for a kicker or not, we can have that debate a little bit later in the program. But I thought he argued a pretty sensible view of why he took the approach he did. We'll get into that, and we'll get into it with this guy, joining us now from his undisclosed location. He's not a cousin sub of the day. Cousin subs, we believe in better. He is the great Mark Tauscher. Tausch, good morning. How are you? What are you doing? If you want to tell us where you are, that's fine, but we're just happy to have you. What's going on?
I'm excited to be here with you boys. Just got together with some fellas over the weekend, and I'm getting on my way back to the great state of Wisconsin. So good weekend, fun weekend, and I'll give more details when I get back.
So when you're with your boys for a boys' weekend, how much of the draft are you watching?
So we've watched, we obviously wanted to we watched Friday nights and then kept up to it with because I'm down here with a lot of guys I played with, a couple of guys that I didn't, and so we obviously talked a lot of ball, talked a little bit about, the draft, but for the most part, we were intrigued by what they were going to do on Friday night, and then kind of paid attention to what they saw, and obviously I knew I was coming on my own show today, so I did a little research, kind of see, and a couple things popped out at me. Obviously, depth and hitting on, I think, the spots that we spent all offseason talking about that we kind of thought they needed to address. I think for the most part they did. And then I saw Gabe on Gabe and Chewy, and Gabe, appreciate you. I saw his, I don't know if it was Instagram, wherever I saw his quote this morning, I thought he hit it on the head. And I've been saying this all offseason. Like, if you think that this draft class is going to be the huge differentiator if this is a championship team or not, I don't think you're paying attention. When you make a move like you did last year, you give up a first-round pick and you bring in Micah, that's your move. And that's what you're looking for. And now you're trying to add depth. And potentially, if you can be fortunate and get somebody in the second or third round that can come in, play, and then develop and become somebody that can, play big minutes at the end of the season, that's great. But if you're counting on a rookie to come in and take a spot and just run with it, typically you're going to end up being disappointed. So all in all, obviously you grabbed the corner early, a lot of raw talent, and I think there's a lot of things that you can like about him. But is he going to be a day one starter? Who knows? I would bet that that's not initially the plan, and you hope that you can develop these guys. So, all in all, if you can find a couple of really nice pieces that can provide depth early and then push guys and make them compete, that's what this draft was about. And I think Goody, without knowing how and what these guys can do at the professional level, I think you feel all right about it.
I mean, but I think the one that shocked most people, because I didn't think they were looking for it, because if they wanted to have a kicking competition, they've got a couple of guys who kicked for him last year with McManus and Lucas Haversick. Were you surprised, especially being a seventh-round guy yourself, Tausch, that Goody decided to pass on 2 seventh-rounders and package them to trade up to go get a kicker?
Yes. That to me is the biggest shock. Obviously, McManus kicked. It was a tough year for him last year. He's injured, and then obviously the postseason game he struggled, and you're paying him a good chunk of money, so you kind of thought you had that. And we saw this movie play out, with Anders Carlson, and I don't know if it was Jason, but I think we were both kind of, when you draft a kicker, you add another layer of pressure to a player, and that position is already packed with pressure. And when you have a team that you think can win a championship, Anders was a kicker. They brought him in because his dad or his brother was a good kicker out in Oakland. And you kind of just thought you could let him develop because Jordan Love's first year. And you don't think all of a sudden that team got good and he wasn't up for it at that point. And then his confidence got shattered a little bit. And I don't think that's now, if this kid can kick and if you give up picks to go get him, that typically means he's going to be your kicker. You don't draft a kicker in the 6th round assuming that he's not going to be your guy. So it's going to be a fascinating battle, which I think we all kind of thought, let McManus go another year, and if Haversick beats him out, okay. When you do this, that kind of changes that whole dynamic. So I thought that was the one move, especially when you're looking and everybody was assuming you're going to end up adding more picks and bringing more guys in to compete and bring more depth to positions that you kind of felt like you needed. It didn't really address a lot of other positions, whether it's tight end, running back. You hit the spots that you kind of felt like you had to. There's always more, and you never know when you're going to get a 6th or 7th round pick that can be, come in and provide depth and then maybe end up being a nice starter and having a career. That's not the route he went with, and we'll see if that turns out to be the case. But that added another storyline to a training camp that, I think is going to be really interesting to watch.
Mark Tauscher joining us on the Yuengling guest hotline on his own show. Yuengling, the oldest brewery in America, now in Wisconsin. 6 generations, family-owned and operated. D.G. Yuengling and Son, Pottsville, PA. Enjoy responsibly. So, Tausch, I thought, and I said this and I wrote it, I thought Goody did a good job of explaining why the class is the size it was. And I think he even acknowledged that this was unique because, as he joked afterward, he's going to try and get 20-some picks in next year's draft as an overcorrection. He's already got 11 or 12, depending on how that's going to unfold with the compensatory picks. So do you walk out of this saying doesn't matter. You should have still added more picks, because his argument was essentially there were not enough good players to merit trading back and hoping that some good players still fell to them while he accumulated other picks.
Yeah, I mean, I understand you don't want to just bring guys in to bring them in, but there's a lot of times you have some unknowns, and I've never heard a GM say they don't want more bites at the apple or whatever phrase you want to use.
Swings at the plate.
There are rosters that you don't, there's 5 or 6 spots, and you're going to let that kind of play out. I don't think this is one of them. And I'm always bring guys in, let them see what, and especially now with 10 practice squad spots, 12, whatever it is, you never know. Having those guys as part of your program is important, and more important than it's ever been. So I think what it's saying is we have a roster that is championship caliber. We have high-end guys. We're going big. We're paying guys. That actually makes it even more important to think about bringing in more young players to develop guys behind them, because you can't pay the Quay Walkers and you can't do what you maybe would have done because you have some of these other high-end guys. So if you get it right and you have the right pieces, fine. But it kind of goes away from the overall philosophy of how Green Bay has done business for a long time, which is let's get a lot of young players in here. Let's develop, coach them up, and get them ready. When you only had, and I know there's going to be a huge undrafted free agent class. I saw a couple of linemen. That's going to be something that you're going to keep working towards and trying to develop. But draft picks have always been sacred here, and obviously this draft, it looked as if it was more of didn't love the overall quality of it. Let's be very selective and pick the guys that we think can make a difference. And let's maybe in a class that next year can be even deeper and better. But the thing with college football, guys can stay longer. You don't necessarily know. You can have an idea of who might be available to you, but there's more and more guys are staying, and there's more uncertainty in drafts. So I always like the philosophy of bringing a bunch of guys in, let them work, let them develop, and then see where you're at roster-wise afterwards.
Tausch, I guess going into this offseason, running back, yes, you have Josh Jacobs. Who knows how much longer he's going to be around past 2026. They don't sign a free agent running back to back him up. They don't draft somebody to back him up. It seems like all the backup running back eggs are going in the Marshawn Lloyd basket. Do you think ultimately that's a mistake?
Yeah, that was the spot that I was thinking, and I didn't think the Friday night selections, but I really thought Saturday you would take a flyer, see somebody with top end speed, and take a shot, because I think that's something we need. Explosive plays out of the running game, trying to find that piece of it, I think is important. And who knows, maybe there's an undrafted free agent that's going to come in and do it. You can find guys, there's no doubt. But that was a position, especially you just mentioned Josh's contract, and he's getting older, all of the things that you're always kind of looking at. I thought that was something that was going to get addressed, and very surprised, especially you give up picks and you draft a kicker. Hey, Goody, you're going to trust and see how it plays, but I don't envision – I just really thought that was a spot that it would have been really nice to bring another body in, because, hopefully Marshawn Lloyd, maybe he is now kind of – he's figured it out. We thought that last year, and he did show in the very limited amount of time that he can play. But it just feels like that's something that is a position, since you didn't draft, and if there isn't an undrafted free agent that's going to pop, it feels like that is going to be a spot that at some point the Packers are going to have to help add a little depth and bring somebody in that maybe has that home run hitting speed that can add another layer to this offense.
So whether we believe Goody or not, he did go out of his way to say this is why they re-signed Chris Brooks. Again, Chris Brooks to me looks like a third down fullback type guy, and if you have a game where Josh Jacobs can't play like you had last season, and Emmanuel Wilson, who signed for popcorn money to compete with like 9 other guys to take Kenneth Walker's position, had 107 yards and 2 touchdowns against the Vikings. in his only NFL start. I do find it curious that they didn't take a 7th-round flyer. Now, they did sign, to Tauscher's point, one running back so far from the undrafted class from Central Florida, Jaden Nixon. Jaden Nixon is the running back from Central Florida that they added. Gabe, you got an extensive scouting report on Jaden Nixon?
The 4.54 40 time, I don't think that qualifies as the explosive running back that Tauscher was looking for.
No. I would love like a 4.2, 4.3. It's I know you can't, especially with the limited coming into it, limited amount of picks that you had, but then you decide it's a bold move to trade and get a kicker. You're kind of saying you feel good about it. And, yeah, you're going to always feel good about the guys you have in your room. And I thought Chris Brooks stepped up last year and did some nice things. But is he going to be that guy that you're going to – I don't see that. But, again, he's got another year in the system. So it just would have been – it would have been, I think, something that Matt LaFleur would really love to have out of the backfield, both catching it and running it, that you saw teams last year really say, we're going to sit back. And now with Watson healthy and when Tucker Kraft comes back, you're going to see more of that softer coverage, which begs you to run the football. And it's great to get 4 and 5 yards. Like, that's awesome. It's much better to have some, what we saw Seattle do in the postseason, big chunk runs, those explosive plays. Everybody's looking for them, bringing somebody else in. So that every day, as Goody said in his presser, we're trying to get better every day. There's still undrafted free agents you can go. There's still more opportunities, but I really felt like Saturday that would have been a spot to take that flyer and see if maybe something pops, and if it does, you're going to be real happy with it. There's been a lot of 5th, 6th, and 7th round running backs in this league that have made big impacts, and obviously Green Bay didn't go that direction.
They did invite on a tryout basis, and you know how much I love a good story, Josh Jacobs' brother. So I don't know if we're going to take the Antetokounmpo's approach in the backfield or not, but Isaiah Jacobs was invited and will be taking part in the rookie camp this weekend on a tryout basis. So we will see what he has in his repertoire. And if he look, they always sign a couple of people that are in his tryout guys from this camp, so maybe Isaiah Jacobs will be one of them. Tausch, one more thing on the running back question, because obviously you played 11 years. You saw a lot of guys deal with injuries. I think of Mike Neal, who you played with, who had injury issues the first couple of years, and then, he contributed to your Super Bowl winning team. But the idea, it's clear that, as Gabe so eloquently put it, like a national radio host like he is, they've essentially put their eggs in the Marshawn Lloyd basket. Now, I think they genuinely like Chris Brooks. I just don't know if I think that he's a realistic, true number 2 running back. But they paid him, and they kept him. How realistic or unrealistic do you think it is to believe that Marshawn Lloyd, given his 2-year NFL injury track record, can be that number 2 running back?
Well, you can hope, but I don't think you can bank or put any big stock in it until you start seeing some results. There's a ton of potential. And again, I think it was the Colts game maybe that we saw him have a couple of plays.
And then leave.
Very, very, very limited. Chris Brooks can be a really nice 2 or 3. I think that's why they're doing what they did. But as far as that speed and that next level of dynamicity that you want in an offense, he has it. Lloyd has it. We in that glimpse that we saw. But I just think I think it's very tough to sit here and try to project that you're going to bank on having that for an extended period of time, because you just haven't seen that. And you hope and you want that to happen for him and obviously for the team. But if that is what you're banking on, I would think that there's going to be some disappointment coming down the pipe.
Tauscher, it wasn't just the draft over the weekend as Jaden Reed signed a 3-year, $50 million extension on Friday afternoon. What did you and the boys think about the extension and the new money that the Packers slot receiver got?
There's no doubt that I think it seems like from Jaden Reed's standpoint, he got guaranteed money, he's got the stability, and you just wonder if that's the case. I don't know how all of it played out, but Green Bay doesn't end up taking a wideout. You get that stability that you're looking for, but I would bet if Jaden Reed plays top level, he's going to look in a year or two and he's going to say, a lot of guys making a lot more money than I am. But he signed on. He's put the little money thing up in his deal, and I think everybody thinks Jaden Reed's a good player. And when he's been healthy, he's been the leading receiver on this football team. He brings a lot to the table, and I think he fits really well with what Green Bay has in their room. So then it just comes back to staying healthy. I think it's a great move for the Green Bay Packers to get him locked up and to get that kind of all figured out. Now you can really start addressing the Watson and Kraft and to find a way to get this done as early as you did. It tells you that you believe in him and you think he is a core football player for you, and you get him at the price point you want. I kind of thought that if you're going to do this, it's going to be a Packer deal, and they found a way to get that done. So kudos again to Russ Ball. I think it's a great move on his part. It's a great move from the organization's part. I think it brings some stability to that room, which I think we were talking outside of Matthew Golden and Savion. It was you keep wondering where are you going to. You're starting to see that pecking order line itself up. And I think when they figure out, if Christian Watson, how that deal is going to look, it's going to be obviously a lot larger than what Jaden Reed just got. But the Green Bay Packers see a player that they like, they address it, get that done, and then that allows you to do some other things. So I think it was a great move. Everybody has to be excited about it from a Packer fan standpoint because Jaden Reed went healthy, really good wide receiver in this league.
Gabe, is everyone excited about it, as you called him very intentionally the slot receiver the way you did?
I called him what he was, Jason. I called him what he was. And is. That's his role on the team.
Gabe,
that's
you're not happy with
what?
You're not happy the fact that they're getting him for less than Romeo Doubs signed for on the open market, right? Mm-hmm. Jaden Reed has been more productive, more consistent when he's been healthy.
Yep.
He is not just a slot receiver, I don't believe. I think that is going to be a majority of his role, but he has shown, I believe, didn't he catch a ball and bust his collarbone up on a touchdown? Or am I wrong on that?
Technically, so that play didn't count.
Well, it should have. When you look at Jaden Reed, do you not think the Green Bay Packers are going to get, if he stays healthy, more productive for what they ended up paying him over the course of this contract? And I'm sure it's probably structured that if it doesn't go great, they can get out of it and it's not overly cumbersome. You're not going to sit here and tell me that this isn't a really good move for the Green Bay Packers?
So, again, as Jason does when we talk about Jaden Reed, my questions about Jaden have always been, okay, because you can't deny, he led the team in receiving and yards the first 2 years, and then he had the injuries last year.
Yep.
But the issue is how much they play him. They don't play him a ton, Tausch. He's never played 80% of snaps in a single game in his career. So it's more about, now you've paid him, and my initial thought was, okay, now you paid him, are you actually going to play him more? And then the more I dive into the contract, are you at Augusta National? What is
That's exactly the question I was going to ask.
Clear bird noises that are going back
just
in the background.
Oh, they're chirping. Jesse's piping those in artificially like CBS.
Exactly. Like it is it's like the birds on your shoulder going right to the phone.
Gabe, if I was at Augusta, I'd bring you and Stephen Watson down for On the Tee. That's what I'd be doing if I was at Augusta. So no, unfortunately, that is not where I'm at.
But again, getting back to
the
Jaden
birds
Reed.
Are pretty though. It is. Let me tell you something. It is beautiful. It is beautiful out here. I'll say that. And I'm doing the show outside, so yeah, it is gorgeous.
It sounds.
It's
bird on his shoulder right out of a Disney film.
Just sounds. So again, my issue, Tausch, has been they haven't used him a ton. But then again, I start looking at the contract and I'm going, well, if they look at him as, and again, number threes can be starters, but this isn't even, I mean, if I think that what Romeo Doubs got was 2 money, this is less than that. So it's either low-end 2 or high-end 3 money, which is kind of the role I think he ultimately plays for the Green Bay Packers this year. And, yeah, I think he can be dynamic. He can do all these things, but they just have not played him the way that a lot of wide receivers get played.
So do you like do you like it at the price tag that they paid him? Gabe.
Yeah, the price point's good. I think the price point's really good. Yeah, especially when you start. I mean, Tausch brought it up. Like he got almost half the guaranteed money less than what Romeo Doubs got. So to Tausch's point, if this thing goes south, which I'm not expecting it to, if it goes south, they will be able to get out of it relatively quick.
And here's what I would argue too, and here's what I would say. I think pay attention to what Matt LaFleur said, and this whole concept of having a room full of guys that you want to have guys that are happy and understand their role and will do it to the nth degree. Mm-hmm. And when you have guys that aren't signed under contract, it just makes for more. When you start identifying, and the money will tell you a lot about what your role is. You're right. He is a low 2, high 3 right now, and Matthew Golden is on a rookie deal that he can't renegotiate or do. So Matthew Golden last year, I don't think there's any doubt, was unhappy with his role. He is going to get the opportunity to be the 2. And Jaden Reed is going to be there pushing on it. So now all of a sudden you have these roles are starting to identify themselves. You're going to give Matthew Golden opportunities to grow and maybe even be a 1 at some point. You don't draft a guy in the first round thinking he's going to be a 3. And he shows flashes. Now you have to let it play out. You have to let guys earn it. But that's why this Jaden Reed deal makes a ton of sense to me is he is productive. You know what you're getting, and you just got him, and he could end up leading the team in catches again. I think Christian Watson can be a big play guy. Who knows, right? Jaden Reed's done it twice. And so, yeah, he maybe doesn't need to play 80, 90% of the snaps. He could be a low snap count guy and be incredibly productive within the role that he's got.
I don't know if we want to bring that phrase back into our lexicon again. We just got rid of the low snap, the low snap count guy.
But we want a high productive guy. And if that's in 65% of the snaps, and then you let Davion Williams grow and you get Matthew Golden, Tucker Kraft, and Christian Watson out on the field a ton more, I'm okay with that. But the Jaden Reed contract, I just think it's a great deal for the Green Bay Packers. It's got, I think, much better chance of being a steal for them than to be on the other side of it. And when you look at it from that perspective, it's not as if you're paying somebody you don't think can play. You're paying somebody that you think has been really good, that maybe isn't going to be a top-end guy, but he's not getting paid that way. He's going to accept his role. He's going to be somebody that you hope continues to grow from a leadership standpoint. And it is important, because Matt LaFleur brought it up, to get that room right, I think is really important. And this is another step in doing that.
The quote that Tausch is referring to from Matt LaFleur about Jaden Reed, talk about a guy that's a culture setter and the epitome of what we want representing our football team in regards to just how he prepares, how he goes out there and plays, and never takes a play off. When you juxtapose that with what he said...
He doesn't take a play off, but the team will give him plenty of plays off, Jason.
You just couldn't help yourself. When you juxtapose that with the issues of guys being unhappy with their roles, there is a clear reason Matt LaFleur said what he said there. I don't think there's any doubt about that. Tausch, we will let you get back to your birds and your boys.
Bird watching.
A lot of speculation in the YouTube comments where Tausch is right now.
Well, they'll have to wait till he's back for him to share that information. They'll be patient, just like Goody was patient, waiting for Dennis Sutton, who he wanted to trade up into the third round to take, and then lo and behold, he was available at 120. Tausch, if you were inside your home with your Pella windows and doors closed, though, we would have never heard your bird friend. So it's a good thing that you've got the outdoors.
Indeed it is. And if you've been putting off replacing your windows and doors, now's the time, because Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin offers 0% interest financing all the way till 2030. That's right, 0 interest till 2030. In Wisconsin, your home takes a beating year-round. The right windows and doors will improve comfort, boost your energy efficiency, and upgrade your home's look. Pella's expert to help you find the perfect fit for your home within your budget and with zero interest until 2030. You can upgrade now and pay over time without paying a dime in interest. Don't wait. Visit PellaWI.com today to learn more.
All right, Tweety Bird, safe travels home, and we look forward to your return to the program, buddy. Thanks.
All right. See you, boys. Thanks, Gabe.
You're welcome.
I don't know. I mean, I assumed he hung up after that. I didn't feel like I needed to say something.
It's weird that he didn't thank Jason.
Maybe he's thanking Gabe for filling in for him as a cousin sub of the day. That's how I'm going to choose to take that.
That's what I assumed.
That is Mark Tauscher, live from an aviary somewhere in the 48 contiguous United States. Maybe. I mean, I suppose it's possible he's in Hawaii or
we know he's not at
Alaska.
Augusta. That's the only thing we know.
ruled out one location.
Yes.
Yeah.
Where in the world is Tauscher San Diego?
Not Wisconsin and not Augusta. That's what we know.
Not in the Everlight Solar ESPN Madison studios. Gabe and I will continue to fight about Jaden Reed and have far more next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Wilde and Tausch continues next on 94.5 ESPN, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
Hi, it's John Reitz from Great Midwest Bank. And while buying a home is a big deal, it certainly doesn't have to be and shouldn't be a stressful experience. At Great Midwest Bank, we combine competitive rates, fast pre-approvals, and honest advice from knowledgeable loan officers to help you every step of the way through your home buying or building journey. For 90 years, our customers have been part of the GMB family. Experience a state of tranquility at GreatMidwestBank.com. Great Midwest Bank, your simply local equal housing lender.
Ben Brust here, and let's cut the crap. I've been sold a lie with sportswear too. You pay a fortune for big name gear, a fancy logo, and a slogan, and it still stinks. Then I found Iron Jock, and now it's all I wear. It's built on science. Their silver ion technology is woven right into the fabric. It kills 99.9% of odor-causing bacteria, and it never washes out, ever. Get yours today at ironjock.com. That's ironjoc.com.
Homer here with Mike Bruner of Window Nation. Does it or is it done as quickly as people think or quicker than they think? Though, as you've just stated in the survey, it's clearly not as important as the comfort and the safety and how clean things are.
Yeah, the ultimate goal is to get the job done right. Fortunately, we pay our installers significantly more than most other companies out there, so we really do get to choose from the best of the best, and there's no reason why we're not cranking out a 15-window house in one day.
Excuse me?
Yeah, 15-window house in one day. I mean, our crews are phenomenal at what they do, and they are beyond efficient while also getting the job done properly, which is the most important part, getting it done right.
With Window Nation's The More You Buy, The More You Save sale, you could save up to 50% off. Plus, you could get zero interest for 5 years. Window Nation, proud partner of the Milwaukee Brewers.
If you are a junior or senior, a graduating senior, or a parent of a high school basketball player with a goal of playing college basketball, visit the DME Academy Wisconsin program on the beautiful campus of St. John's in Delafield. Training starts in August with top flight coaches, facilities, and academics. You will play against the top players and teams and in front of college coaches across America. Ignite your dream of playing college basketball. Google DME at St. John's Northwestern Academy on the campus of St. John's in Delafield.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
ZipRecruiter.
When you're getting married, the rings matter. There's something you wear for a lifetime. That's why my fiance and I went to Paul's Jewelers. Paul's Jewelers specializes in custom jewelry for life's biggest moments. Lab-grown or natural diamonds, great pricing, and a lifetime warranty, so your jewelry can be refurbished, repaired, or refitted anytime down the road. Their team made the entire process easy and stress-free. I can't wait to show off my wedding band after our big day. Create your masterpiece today by visiting Paul's Jewelers in West Allis.
This is Wildy and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Sponsored by American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Thanks to Mark Tauscher for joining us on Wildy and Tausch on the Yuengling guest hotline. Yuengling, now in Wisconsin, the oldest brewery in America. D.G. Yuengling and Son, Pottsville, PA. Enjoy responsibly. I mentioned what Matt LaFleur had to say about Jaden Reed. But let's hear it from Matt LaFleur himself. Here he is.
No, it's big time. I think you talk about a guy that's a culture setter and the epitome of what we want representing our football team in regards to just how he prepares and how he goes out there and plays. And he never takes a play off, and you're always going to get his best. And I think one thing that's unique about him is just his ability to, bring others with him. I think he's a real leader for us.
Gabe?
Yes?
You like everything about him except how much he doesn't play. Fair?
Yeah, I do. And that's always been a question I've had. And because playing time, there are two ways to find out how a team feels about someone: how much they play and how much they get paid. And prior to this contract, and again, this contract, while it seems like a big amount of money in the NFL, it's really not.
It's a bargain.
Yep. Yeah, it's really not. And it's not going to prevent them from doing any of the other things that they want to do with Tucker Kraft, with Christian Watson, with anybody like that. So, especially when you're on your rookie deal, playing time is a form of currency. It tells you how people, your coaches feel about you, what positions they're putting you in. And my big thing with Jaden Reed has been, he led the team in yards and receptions, which is impressive, especially to do it in as few of snaps that he's played.
Efficiency.
Yeah, that certainly exists, but don't you think you would want that guy on the field more? And that's the part they have questioned. But here's the thing, I guess, about the wide receiver room, Jason. As we have been, much like, Tausch accuses you of, dropping breadcrumbs and you got to Hansel and Gretel your way and finally get to the end of the story. I think Matt LaFleur and the Packers have been doing that about the wide receiver room. Mm-hmm. Because it starts with, we had disgruntled players. People weren't happy. Immediately, my first thought, Jason, I can't imagine I was the first person who thought about this, was the wide receiver room. You had so many guys there, inconsistent playing time. One guy pops up. Dontavian Wicks, great game on Thanksgiving, basically disappears the rest of the season.
Yep.
So it's up and down. Matthew Golden had kind of said some things, where he wasn't happy with how much he was playing. And, Jaden Reed was out for a majority of the season, so we didn't really get a good feel, I think, for Jaden and how much he would have been in their plans and how much that would have changed this year. We didn't really get that feel because of the injury that he suffered, unfortunately for him, very early in week number 2. So we start there. Okay, guys are unhappy. All right, I think about the wide receiver room. Then LaFleur's talking about going back to square one, going back to year one, and having more defined roles. Okay? And as we've gone along this offseason, what that means to me is, obviously the wide receiver room was part of the problem in terms of disgruntled players. Didn't really make an effort of re-signing Romeo Doubs. They ship away Dontavian Wicks. Yes, they got 2 draft picks in return. I thought they got great value for that.
Agreed.
But now you're paring down that wide receiver room. it's pretty obvious to me what the roles are going to be. Christian Watson's going to be your 1. Golden's probably the 2. Reed is going to be your slot guy at your number 3. And it's going to be easier to get these guys A, more playing time, B, more footballs to try to make everybody happier. And when I think of LaFleur saying, hey, we got to go back to square one, does that mean, hey, we're going back to year 1 because we had a lot of success early on and we had Devontae Adams and everybody had defined roles? And he fought against that last year. Oh, we don't need a number 1 wide receiver. I think he's kind of going back on that. Much like Goody realized maybe it's not a bad thing to sprinkle in a couple of 30-plus-year-olds on the roster, I think Matt LaFleur is realizing, it's easier when everyone's got defined roles and it's 3rd and 6, and now I know a play to call because Christian Watson can always get open on this play, or Tucker Kraft can always get open on this play, and that's going to continue drives instead of going, oh boy, it's 3rd and 6. Who are we going to throw the football to here? Who do we got to make happy? And I think that's just going to make the offense flow a lot better. Does it leave you susceptible to some injuries if somebody gets hurt? Sure. But I think it's going to be easier, and I think the offense can be more efficient when you have guys that are going to have defined roles. And I think by signing Jaden Reed, talking about him being a leader, and obviously being somebody that probably wasn't uncomfortable or, did not dislike his role last year, I think that all fits into what the wide receiver offseason plan has been for the Packers.
Well, you were not the only one thinking this way, because I basically asked Matt LaFleur what you just said. Because that is exactly what I was wondering. We will hear that coming up, because Jesse's got that queued up for us and ready to go. Because I think that they thought that they could make it all work and they'd all sit around the campfire and sing Kumbaya. Kumbaya, my lord. I don't mind my targets. But I don't think that's what happened. And I think they realize that now. We'll see what Matt LaFleur had to say next. It's Wildy and Tausch.
This is Wildy and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, and sponsored by American Family Insurance. The best source for every piece of NFL news you need to know.
I would just say that right now I think all options are on the table. I think that they went through that trade thing and they talked to teams, and it's not like those talks are shut down.
ESPN NFL insider Adam Schefter is on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy every Wednesday morning at 7:30. Sponsored by Island Resort and Casino, Tony Wendorf and Associates, and Smart 18 Union. On 94.5 ESPN, ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube, and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Wisconsin weather doesn't ease into spring. It keeps you guessing. That's why your windows and doors need to handle everything. At Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, we build for year-round comfort. Now get 0% interest until 2030. That's years of no interest, so you can upgrade now and pay over time. Plus, enjoy a free in-home consultation, expert installation, and a 10-year limited warranty. But order by April 30th. Schedule today at PellaWI.com.
Mark Tauscher here, and if you know me, you know I love Wisconsin. That's why I'm a UW Credit Union member. Their team's been all about Wisconsin since 1931, and they love making banking easy for members. Whether it's with their convenient mobile app or with the great perks like early payday to get you paid sooner. Stop by any of their local branches or visit uwcu.org to join and become a UW Credit Union member like I did. Federally insured by NCUA. Terms and conditions apply.
2026 Brewers Group tickets are on sale now, and planning your next event at American Family Field has never been easier. Whether it's a company outing, family reunion, or night out with friends, bring your group of 15 or more to the ballpark and enjoy up to 25% off single game tickets with no service fees. All Brewers home games are available now. Start planning today, and a Brewers Group ticket rep will handle the rest. But hurry, tickets are moving fast. Plan your 2026 outing at brewers.com/groups.
Feels like the world is a little broken lately. Maybe all we need is a fix. Most spirits are acidic. Fix Vodka is different. Fix Vodka is the world's first high-alkaline, acid-free vodka. Handcrafted with natural spring water and select grain. Clean, smooth, done right. Better water, better vodka. Get your local Fix.
Fix Vodka.
Enjoy responsibly.
If you still think sports bar means sticky floors and basic wings, you're doing it wrong. It's ESPN Milwaukee's Alex Strofe, and I gotta tell you about Veer North, right in the heart of Milwaukee's East Side. Veer North, flipping the game day experience. Better cocktails, great pizza, and a menu that goes way beyond the usual. Catch every big play on their wall-to-wall screens in a space that feels like a night out. From the big game or your next client meeting, Veer North delivers every time. Veer North, where Milwaukee watches the game, elevated. Looking to transform your home with stylish furniture and home accessories without breaking the bank? At your local IKEA in Oak Creek, they believe everyone deserves a beautiful and affordable living experience that enhances your everyday life. From comfortable and fashionable sofas and sectionals, to kitchens full of inspiration, to bedrooms designed to help you find your best sleep and relaxation, IKEA's home furnishing combines form and function to fit any lifestyle and budget. Visit IKEA Oak Creek today or explore their collection online at ikea.com/US.
Hi, this is Mike from Infinity Exteriors. Most contractors cut corners and disappear when there's a problem. Not us. Since 1997, we've completed over 60,000 projects, earned thousands of 5-star reviews, and were named 2025 Roofing Magazine Contractor of the Year. We set the standard for exterior remodeling. Trusted by homeowners, proven every single day. We're excited to show you why choosing Infinity means peace of mind. Visit infinityexteriors.com to see why your neighbors trust Infinity.
You're listening to Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Gabe Neitzel is in as our cousin sub of the day. Cousin subs, we believe in better. And they don't get better than Gabe Neitzel, even if he takes off from his own show on the draft. So, I mentioned that quote from Matt LaFleur talking about Jaden Reed. He also was asked by one enterprising reporter about the dynamic, not to be confused with Tauscher's favorite made-up word, dynamicity, of the wide receiver room. And maybe, just maybe, thinking that a bunch of competitive guys that want to get paid were not going to necessarily be on board with sharing is caring being the philosophy in there. Here is Matt LaFleur on that.
Did that dynamic end up being tougher than maybe you thought? Like, you genuinely tried to keep all those guys happy, and we don't know who the people were that weren't happy with their roles, but I know wide receivers as a group oftentimes aren't the happiest people with their targets. So,
well, you the one thing I will say is you want guys that want the football. Sure. So. Yeah, I thought, it was a problem. It was a good problem in regards to we felt like we had a lot of people capable of going out there and making the necessary plays. And quite frankly, I still feel that way with whether it's, we all know who our three leaders are out the gate. But, I mean, guys like Savion who can continue to develop. You got Bo Melton that certainly made a ton of big plays for us in his past. So, there's still competition there, and then there's some unproven guys that are going to try to go out there and earn it.
It was a problem. It was a good problem, but he said it, right? And by the way, nobody other than maybe Wes Hodkiewicz and Bo Melton's own parents love Bo Melton more than me. But again, if this means that he gets more opportunities because he's made a lot of plays, which he has, then, again, you are taking a guy that you now think is good enough to be part of your wide receiver rotation and stashing him at corner. So,
Jason, that confirmed he's a wide receiver.
Yes, of course.
That confirmed he's a wide receiver.
This is what he was the whole time.
I mean, not technically. I guess technically.
But you had too many wide receivers. If you have someone that you think is good enough to be in your rotation, lining up at corner at practice.
Yep, and I think that gets rid of it. But again, I think it ends up being, is there such a thing as a good problem? You know,
I always love that phrase.
Yeah, it's a good problem to have. Was it?
Well,
or did it cause some unhappiness that festered through your locker room? And Chewy talks about it. I don't know how much Tausch talks about it, but Chewy talks about it all the time. Like, guys who are pouting, that can get infectious in the locker room. That can even infect other positions that maybe didn't feel that way and now feel differently because, again, misery loves company. And by paring down that wide receiver room, again, you still have guys in there that you think can step up and play and you can trust. And I go back to the Super Bowl winning teams, Jason, that the Packers have had in the last 30 years. 1996, everybody knew what their roles were coming in, whether that was at the tight end position with Chew and Keith Jackson, Robert, who got hurt, but he was the 1, Free was the 2, Beebs was the 3. Yeah, they had injuries, so guys like Terry Mickens had to step up, and then they had to go get Andre. And even though that 2010 team is stacked with names we now know better now, like, there was a clear pecking order. Jordy would go on to become one of the best receivers in Packers history. He was very clearly not the best wide receiver on that team. He wasn't
emerged late in the year.
Yes, he emerged late in the year and certainly had big moments, especially in that Super Bowl. But Greg Jennings was the guy of that wide receiver, and everything fell in order after that. Like, everybody knew what their role was, and there was a pecking order to it all. And the Packers, I mean, outside of Romeo Doubs, because he got the lion's share of the snaps for the wide receivers, it didn't seem like there was a ton of rhyme or reason for why different guys were out there at any given time. And I think by paring it down, like you said, knowing who those top 3 guys are going into 2026, I think ultimately that's going to be a good thing for the Packers and their offense.
Yes, and by the way, every time a coach says it's a good problem to have, my response is, but you're acknowledging it's a problem. It's the word is right in there, what you said.
Don't care if you said good in front of it.
Right. It's not a good situation. It's a good problem. So, and again, I admire their efforts, but I think the best point you made, and I know he had a concussion late in the season, and he didn't play in the playoff game, but Dontavion Wicks does what he does in that Detroit game on Thanksgiving, and then he's never heard from again. I mean, they don't win the game without him.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. And then, again, you know me, I'm the snap count guy. You just go and look at the amount that he played after that Thanksgiving game, Jason, and it's jarring to think of what he did on Thanksgiving, and the reward was not really playing much in the last month of the season.
All right, we will kick off taking your calls to start the 10 o'clock hour. So let's get them lined up. Again, just your overarching feeling on this draft, good, bad, or indifferent. I want to hear from you if you're thrilled. I want to hear from you if you're disappointed. And then your favorite and your least favorite picks. I don't think we have to overcomplicate this. And there's only 6 to choose from. Yeah, hey, great. They got a big undrafted class. Sure. And they have a great history of keeping at least one and usually multiple undrafted free agents. So I'm not poo-pooing them. But there's a difference between being drafted and not. So
I will say this quickly about the undrafted, because I don't know how much we'll get to this. And we talked about it a little bit on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy this morning. I think that it could potentially come to an end, the streak of having an undrafted guy on their roster. Because if Goody felt like, hey, none of the guys were worth drafting in the 7th round, so we paired both 7ths to go get a kicker, and then there was a whole nother round after that got drafted, what does that say about the undrafted free agents?
Yeah, it's an interesting point. We will see how it plays out. I think they keep a guy just to keep the streak going.
Well, they found a way to keep Bo Melton last year, and they're probably going to be happy that they did, given how he's wide receiver 5 right now.
No doubt. Exactly. All right, we'll get into that at the top of the 10 o'clock hour, which will start around 10:15. 844-770-3770. It's like, see, Tausch was here. This is what happens. 844-770-3776. That is the Carbless Talk and Text line. less is more. Want to remind you, you don't have to hop on a plane like I think Tausch did, or board a cruise ship, which I don't think he did, judging from the birds in the background, to feel like you've escaped, because your next getaway is waiting for you in Milwaukee at Potawatomi Casino Hotel. Start to stay. Biggest hotel rooms in Milwaukee, nearly 500 beautifully designed rooms and luxury suites that are perfect for a weekend reset, a date night, or celebrating something big, and you're just steps away from everything that's happening inside. And my favorite thing about going to Potawatomi Casino? The food. Dream Dance Steakhouse, the Marketplace, Rock and Brews, which is my favorite, Canal Street Cafe, Ruyi Asian Kitchen, which I haven't been to, that's on my to-do list, Cream City Coffee Company, food and drink specials happening all the time. And if you're planning a wedding, a birthday, or an anniversary, their event spaces are built to make it unforgettable. Sophisticated relaxation, incredible flavor, and a full night out all in one place. Potawatomi Casino Hotel. The 10 o'clock hour starts in 2 minutes. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Do you know the secret to losing up to 1 pound of fat every day? At Milwaukee Weight Loss, we know the secret. Our doctor-developed, easy-to-follow weight loss program helps you lose weight fast, naturally and safely, and with no drugs or injections with risk of serious side effects, no prepackaged meals, bars, shakes, and no exercising required. Our program helps reset your metabolism so you can keep the weight off for good with a coach for ongoing support. Our program costs up to half as much and works up to twice as fast as most other programs. Go to MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com to schedule your free consultation.
Homer here for Milwaukee Weight Loss. Been on the journey since January, over 3 months, down 26 pounds today. If you're looking for a safe and easy program that will actually help you keep the weight off, this is it. Many patients lose 20 to 30 pounds in a month or two. That's up to a pound per day. And for a limited time, get $200 off with the spring special. Book your free consultation at MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. That's MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com.
Results may vary.
Get out of the house this summer and head to Road America, conveniently located between Madison, Milwaukee, and Green Bay. This legendary 4-mile, 14-turn road course has been hosting the world's best racers since 1955. Bring the whole family. Kids 16 and under get in free with a paying adult at the gate. You can camp on site, explore the grounds, and take in the racing your way. It's more than just a race, it's a full experience. IndyCar is the must-see race coming June 18th through the 21st. Come for the experience, stay for the race. Get your tickets at roadamerica.com.
Elevate your home field advantage by designing it around the way you actually live. Mike Wood here from Callan. What if your home perfectly fit your lifestyle? For 40 years, Callan has helped homeowners like you transform your living spaces from energy-efficient windows and doors to beautiful kitchens and spa-worthy bathrooms, featuring superior quality and craftsmanship you can see and feel for years to come. We start by listening and end with a home you truly love. Request your consultation today at callcallan.com and click the green button. Callan. Design, build, live.
Get your green and gold off-season fix right here. You're listening to 94.5 ESPN, WKTI and WKTI HD Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
The 10:17 hour of Wilde and Tausch with Gabe Neitzel as our cousin sub of the day. Cousin subs, we believe in better, begins now. By the way, and you know, we try to be very discreet about people's business on this program. We don't use that lame Tausch on Homer on assignment nonsense. If you're on vacation, you're on vacation. You're not on assignment. And if you're hanging out with your boys, that's not an assignment. That's fun. And on top of that, he tried to use that when we were having technical difficulties, that I was on assignment. No, we can't get connected to me during the draft coverage at the moment. We're working on that. But where did you go somewhere? Were you, like, as much grief as I gave you for not being on your program on Friday, and then obviously, lo and behold, there you were on the air in the afternoon. If you did go somewhere, it wasn't far. So did you have I know you go to Vegas for the NCAA tournament and a golf outing and whatever else you do, right? Were you somewhere out of pocket at all during the draft?
No, so I was paying attention to the draft as much as we could. I was hanging out, friend of GKB, I guess, a longtime buddy of mine, Tom Lee, who used to be a teammate of ours, turned 40. So we were up in.
He can't be 40, by the way.
Yeah, I'm 42, man. That's just the way it is. So we, me and some family members of his, were hanging out in the North Woods up in Wautoma. Played a little golf at Lasonia, and then we played another golf course in Wautoma. So just kind of getting together, celebrating our pal turning 40 years old on Friday and Saturday.
One of the all-time good guys. He was our teammate for a while. Started kind of on the Gabe Neitzel plan of working when you're like 7 years old. So him leaving, you growing throughout the company made it a little bit easier to take when you turned 40. But because I still remember him as a youngster. But congratulations to Tom, and he's a great dude. So I'm glad you got to do that. Let's get to your calls. 844-770-3776, 844-770-3776. That is the Carbless Talking text line. Carbless lists is more. Let's start with Jeff in Milwaukee. Jeff, long time no talk, buddy. What do you got for us?
How have you been?
We have been great. How about you?
Jason, you tired? You were working every day over the weekend.
No, it was, you know what? With only 6 picks, I manage. Sometimes it's hard when Goody takes like 13 guys to get a story up on Channel 3000 about every player. I was able to do that. I was able to. And look, I actually thought Goody was pretty good this weekend in explaining his thought process. What did you think?
I thought actually. Okay, so I gotta start off. I agree with you for starters, and I gotta start off by giving you some kudos here, Jay. We don't always agree on everything, which is great. That's part of the show. But your comments about Goody and Jordan Love, and I'm a huge Jordan Love fan, I think are spot on. Jordan Love has been good. He has not been great. Could he be great? He could be, and I think he will be eventually. But he has not been great to this point. He has been good. And Goody has been not bad as a GM, but I think he's kind of skated by with people not being critical enough of him. So I'm with you, Jason, in the respect that I still think he's kind of overestimating this roster. I do, and I agree with you completely. So we'll find out what happens this year, but I think he's overestimated. The other thing I want to compliment you on is I thought your questions to him this weekend were really good. They were more about approach and strategy than they were about individual. Because whenever you ask about the individual people they drafted, they're always going to say this and that. So I really appreciated the questions you asked over the weekend. I thought they were really good. So in terms of my favorite player. It'll be the long shot. It'll be the dentist because your second round pick and your third round pick, if they're good, they should be good. And obviously, Goody has not obviously nailed that at all. So they should be good. But if you can get somebody who's an impact player, especially at the edge in the 4th round. And will he be? I don't know, but I was most excited about that. And in terms of the draft itself, I don't know if any of these people are going to be good, but I liked the strategy. And the strategy is all you can really comment on this point, because you don't know how good these people are. I thought the strategy was really spot on. People are like Gabe and Chewy were talking about this morning, getting all bent out of shape about the kicker. I mean, at this point, it is. I'm not going to worry about 2 7th-round draft choices. So, anyways, those are my thoughts. And once again, thanks very much. And I wanted to give you some support, Jay, and kudos about Jordan Love and Goody, because I think you're spot on both of them.
Well, I appreciate that, Jeff. I think I'm better with people that are criticizing me, but I appreciate that.
It's so good. Good job.
Jesse, shut up.
Great job on this show so far.
And here's the thing that obviously Jeff and I do agree on, and that is the idea of exploring the strategy versus the actual player selections, because let's call it what it is here. No one knows if these guys are any good or not, including Goody, right? He thinks, he believes, he hopes, but he doesn't know. Like, if he knew, would he have drafted Eric Stokes in the first round for him to be not very good for him, but then apparently be pretty good for the Raiders? Like, no, right? You don't know. That said, and he called him the dentist, which, again, initials DDS. That's what comes after your name.
I believe that it has. I believe that was his nickname. Deny Dennis Sutton at Penn State. So it's a good nickname. It's a good football nickname. I like it.
It's a great football nickname, and I can't wait to meet him and ask him who gets credit for the dentist, because that takes a little bit of savvy of understanding what comes after the dentist's name. But like he was, and again, I'm not saying Dane Brugler is omniscient, okay? But he had him at 60. They got him at 120, right? Goody and Joshy and I tag teamed on this question because we were talking about it on Saturday. But Goody had said when he talked to us on Friday night that he had tried to get back up into the third round. And I asked him point blank, was it because you were trying to deny Dennis Sutton? He said, yep, that's who I was trying to get. Okay? So now you're looking at two picks. The third round pick in Chris McClellan, the defensive tackle from John Anderson's school, Missouri.
Anderson U.
Who you considered at 52 and got at 77. You had to give up a fifth-round pick to go up the 7 spots you did to get him, but you got a guy that you would have picked at 52, and you didn't, right? So now you've gotten a guy 25 picks later that you thought was worthy of the 52nd pick, and then you got a guy at 120 that you were willing to trade up to try and take at the bottom of the third round. So what that tells me is there were guys that they got in terms of their own board at a good value. Whether or not that means again, the scouting part of this matters. This scouting staff, which Goody was a part of, in 2017, didn't think there was a wide disparity between T.J. Watt and Vince Beagle.
Yeah, who they got in the first pick of the fourth round.
Right. So that's a scouting problem, right? You misevaluated them, right? But that was why they were willing to trade back and miss out on T.J. Watt and end up with Kevin King. When they were sitting at 28, they could have just taken T.J. Watt, and the dude's probably a Pro Football Hall of Famer, and so is his brother, right? Instead, you got Kevin King, who, by the way, was back in the league last year, which is wild in and of itself.
I was not aware of that.
Yeah, he was playing for the Falcons, or maybe that was 2 years ago. Anyway, my point is that your evaluation could be wrong on the dentist or on Chris McClellan or whoever, but based on where your evaluation was, what you did made sense. Yeah. And I think that's the way we grade for now.
Well,
until we see what
happens. You want to trust your process, right? Like the draft is the ultimate, again, not to steal the phrase, from the Philadelphia 76ers, but I mean, the draft is more about the process and trying to figure out how you want to do that, because you're going to miss. Right? Like, we had done an exercise. We do the top 8 at 8 on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy every Thursday, where I make a list of 8 things. And a couple weeks ago, we did the last 8 Packers second-round picks. And I would argue 6 out of the 8 were pretty good. And 75%, yeah, you're taking that. But you are going to miss some guys. Like A.J. Dillon, that didn't really work out for the Packers. Luke Musgrave, as much as, he was great and looked like he was going to be great for the first 8 picks until the lacerated kidney. Yeah, that's kind of fallen off since then with all the different injuries and everything that he's suffered. And you want to talk about playing time, his suffered certainly last year, even when Tucker Kraft went out. But still, you're taking that, so whatever process got you the 6 out of the 8, the 75%, you're really happy with. And that's why, again, these GMs, Jason, want more and more and more and more draft picks.
Right.
Which is the surprising part is, I thought Goody was going to end up with 8 or more.
Me too.
The fact that he ended up with 6 and only 6 is another surprising part, but I think it also tells you that the people who talk about the draft for a living, the guys like Dane Brugler, Mel Kiper, Matt Miller, they were talking about the depth of this draft just wasn't very good. And I would say Goody would certainly agree with that, given that he was willing to give up a couple of swings to go target specific players.
Correct. Exactly. And again, he will be evaluated not on his process now.
But on the results.
Yeah. Don't tell me about the pregnancy. Show me the baby. Well, now he's got 6 newbies that are going to be joining his roster as draft picks. We will get into more of your calls, all right? And you don't have to compliment me. You can just give your thoughts. But thank you to Jeff for saying nice things about me. I appreciate it.
I think you're wonderful, Jason.
That's pretty nice of you to say after what I said about you last week. You know who is wonderful? Associated Bank. And if you're a Brewers fan, they are particularly wonderful with their Brewers checking from Associated Bank. Listen to all the perks that come with it. 20% off at the Brewers team store when you show your Brewers card. Up to 50% off home game tickets exclusively for Brewers checking account customers. Express entry. You know all about that. We've done the show from this gate, the Associated Bank entrance at American Family Field. Plus, concert and event access. Perks go way beyond game day with pre-sale access to designated concerts and non-baseball events at American Family Field. And you can save both on the iconic 5 and 10K famous racing sausages run and walk, and on the Brewers Baseball Academy registration. So what are you waiting for? All that plus the best customer service in all of banking. Go to associatedbank.com/Brewers to find out more. More conversation about the Packers draft. Give us a call or text on the Carbless Talk and Text line, 844-770-3776. It's Wildy and Tausch.
This is
Wildy and Tausch continues next on 94.5 ESPN, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, and sponsored by American Family Insurance. Stay up to date on the Green and Gold all off season. The Green and Gold Fix podcast is brought to you by Potawatomi Casino Hotel. Luxury stay, elite play, unwind in sophisticated comfort. Win big, dine, and experience the events in Milwaukee.
Don't you wish your life came with a warning app?
That dog does not want to be petted.
Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
$2.3 million. A recent Schwab survey of Americans says that it takes $2.3 million to be wealthy. Well, you may have had your financial plan set on a bigger or a more humble number. But if you're looking for added insights on how to get there or how to avoid some tax pitfalls on the way, Annex Wealth Management is ready to listen. Mark Tauscher here, and whether your situation is complex or simple, the Annex Wealth Management team can give you wealth expertise and guidance on reaching your goals. Annex Wealth Management. Know the difference.
Wisconsin weather doesn't ease into spring. It keeps you guessing. That's why your windows and doors need to handle everything. At Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, we build for year-round comfort. Now get 0% interest until 2030. That's years of no interest, so you can upgrade now and pay over time. Plus, enjoy a free in-home consultation, expert installation, and a 10-year limited warranty. But order by April 30th. Scheduled today at PellaWI.com.
At Associated Bank, we get life gets complicated. So banking, it should be easy to get. That's why our tools speak your language. Automated savings, it's saving automatically for anything. Digital controls, you lose your card, you're still in control. Turn it off, then on, all on the app. And Money Monitor, you know where your money goes, like those long forgotten subscriptions. At Associated Bank, we get you. That's why we've got you. Learn more at associatedbank.com/YouGotThis. Member FDIC.
Hey, Tom, I just really can't get my kids off their phones lately. What's your secret, man?
I told you last time, go to PrecisionSportsOnline.com and buy a hoop. And while you're there, include their court line painting. You'll thank me later. PrecisionSportsOnline.com. That's PrecisionSportsOnline.com.
The Run for the Roses is coming to St. Kate the Arts Hotel. Join us Saturday, May 2nd for the Kentucky Derby Day in partnership with Woodford Reserve. Watch the race live, sip on specialty cocktails including the classic mint julep, and dress to impress. Best hat and best dress contests are on the card. Admission is free, or you can upgrade to VIP for $75 for exclusive food stations and 2 complimentary cocktails. Visit stkatearts.com to RSVP or grab your tickets at stkatearts.com.
Join Cousins Club Rewards today. Grab your first sub and your next one could be free. After your first qualifying purchase, you'll earn a free sub and start collecting points for free food, exclusive deals, and even Cousins gear. Sign up today. It's fast and easier than ever on the Cousins Subs app. Earn points online, on the app, or in store. However you enjoy Cousins Subs, your rewards are right at your fingertips. Cousins Subs. We believe in better.
Let's talk about home turf. Your lawn is a reflection of your pride, hard work, and even competitive spirit. If you want a yard that makes the neighbors stop and stare, you need the right plan. That's where Weedman Lawn Care comes in. Weedman's lawn care program is kid and pet friendly, uses golf course quality fertilizer, and has an effective weed treatment to dominate any issue. Get a free quote of Weedman's winning formula for your yard at weedman.com and get 50% off your first treatment. That's weedman.com. Weedman for the win.
Your state, your teams, your ESPN. The ESPN Wisconsin app. Customizable just for you. Find the ESPN Wisconsin app in the Apple or Android app stores today. This is Wildy and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Sponsored by American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
844-770-3776. Russell Wilson played for the Savannah Bananas yesterday?
I think I saw that video, him taking an at-bat, just kind of chopping one out to second base.
Almost taking out the pitcher who was covering on the play.
So you got he's Mr. Unlimited.
Mr. Unlimited looks like he could. He looks like he's bulked up.
That's the nice way to put it.
That's what I try to do with people other than you.
You think Kyler Murray should have played baseball instead?
Absolutely not.
All right.
Him getting the contract that he did from the Cardinals, like, it takes a while. I know guys are getting paid more now in baseball, and some prospects are getting. But again, Cooper Pratt got what, $50 million, which is again nothing to sneeze at, but. You know, there was, getting a 9-figure deal the way Kyler Murray did. I think it worked out for him just fine.
Yeah, it did. I didn't realize I was being quite so complimentary, but I got Josh DiMaggio texting me his feedback on that view as well. Let's take another call, and then we'll get to some of your texts on the Carbless Talk and Text line. Let's to Spencer in Minnesota. Spencer, long time no talk, buddy. How you feeling about the Packers draft?
Good. Yeah, I don't know what's up with Goody. At least it feels like the last 4 drafts I've felt pretty good about, and I feel like they've been so far they seemingly are okay to good, and his first 4 or 5 were bad to okay, and it's like he's had a good mix of need for seemingly talent or at least value for where he's picking. You know, I mean. Second round, getting a 20-year-old corner who seems to be athletic, talented. I mean, can't even drink a beer. They need Dennis Sutton in the 4th, which seemed to be huge value. And when we don't really have, room for a project defensive end with, Parsons being out at the beginning of the year, at least with such a big guy like him, you can probably throw him in at the beginning of the year. He won't be a total liability. Jager in the 5th. I mean, I think we felt good about having a swing tackle in Kennard, but no one really interior. And he seems like someone who can, at nothing else, at least back up there, and you'll feel better than you would about Monk or whoever else, Jennings, I think. And then I know you don't like kickers, drafting kickers, but taking Smack in the 6th, And it seems like we did, the 7th round picks, we got some decent undrafted guys. But for me, it's like, one, he was good in college. Anders Carlson, when we drafted him, wasn't.
Correct.
And for me, it's like, I don't know what you do with Brandon McManus. I'd almost look to see if you could even just swap like a 7th for a 6th in next year's draft for him right now, because he's probably going to kick well in training camp. He did last year. He was, he couldn't miss. Rob Domofsky then jinxed him with the predictions for the season or whatever.
He did, yeah. That was one of the great jinxes in this show's history, frankly.
I think it's a great point you're making, because he did make, again, he had the struggles, right? Had the struggles throughout the course with the injury. Mm-hmm. But after he got back from the injury and everything kind of cleared out, he made 32 kicks in a row, field goals and extra points, leading into the postseason. And then the playoff game was a disaster.
So, Gabe, let me, and thanks for the call, Spencer, and we appreciate your thoughts on that. So, I'm with you, right? I don't love picking specialists, because I think what we've seen, not in all cases, but in many cases, A, it adds a level of pressure to them. B, generally speaking, it takes a while to figure out how to kick at the NFL level or punt at the NFL level. And once you do, and you've got it down, you can stay in the league for a long time, right? But I think there's ample evidence that it's not just, I was a good kicker or punter in college, I can be a good kicker or punter in the NFL.
So,
there's subtlety to it.
I did a little bit of research, Jason, into kickers. Yeah,
we
did a little bit of
don't
research into kickers.
Well, we don't do research on this program.
So I looked at the top kickers by field goal percentage last year, the top kickers by makes, and right now the top 10 highest paid kickers. Obviously, there's some crossover. Those 3 lists cover 20 kickers. So 20 of the top kickers, based on these, 13 were undrafted free agents, 2 were in the 5th round, 4 were 6th round picks, and there was 1 in the 7th. Of the highest paid kickers, so the ones that obviously have had experience doing it, have proven that they can do it, and teams have gone, we're giving you money because you're good, 7 out of those 10 were undrafted free agents.
And I don't want to criticize your research, because I'm thankful that you did the research. I'd be curious if those draft picks all are kicking for the team that drafted them or not. Because let's use J.K. Scott, the punter, as an example. Right? Packers draft him in 2018, Goody's first draft. He punts for them for, 3 years, I think? And they basically said, this guy's not good enough. Right? And they lived with it for 3 years, hoping it would click. And then it clicked in for him with the Chargers. I think that's not uncommon. That a guy, it takes him a while to figure it out at the NFL level. Now, that doesn't mean that Trey Smack can't walk in and be a really good kicker and be for a really good time. We have 2 other examples of Packers 6th round kickers, right? We got Mason Crosby, who was good immediately, proved to be a good draft pick, and then had the blips in 2012 and then a later season. But the dude kicked for 16 years. Yeah, pretty good pick, right?
Yep.
Anders Carlson, which, as Spencer pointed out, his college numbers were
very good.
In the words of me imitating Frank Caliendo, imitating Charles Barkley, terrible, right? But the special teams coordinator liked him and had coached his brother, which, by the way, Cam Acord was apparently really in favor of Trey Smack. So at least we found a position where it doesn't matter if you're Bisaccia or Acord, if you're the special teams coordinator and you have a strong opinion on a kicker, apparently Goody's going to listen to you, right?
Yep.
But that was a bad pick. I don't think Anders is kicking for anybody right now. He bounced around a little bit and had a few opportunities the last 2 seasons, but he lost the job in 24, and it's not like he became the guy for somebody else, right? So we'll see which one of those, or if somewhere in between is where Trey Smack lands. But the idea that it's going to be an open if I'm Brandon McManus, I'm probably saying, hey, man, thank you for the opportunity, but you're going to want this guy to be your kicker. Why don't you have him and Haversick battle it out and release me, and I'll go catch on somewhere else. That's what I would think that he's at least considered as a possibility for him.
Yeah, yes. And again, I just think that to the caller's point, Jason, McManus, I think, is going to kick well during training camp.
Yeah, because he's a good kicker, by the way.
Because he's a good kicker, yeah. And the Bears game, it stinks, right? And he admitted that he stunk, and if he kicks well, the Packers win that game. Despite everything else that happened,
correct,
the Packers win that game if he kicks well. And he was kicking well up until that point. It's not like it was Anders when they lost the playoff game in San Francisco when he had missed a kick in how many ever straight weeks it was. Right? Like, he was missing kicks all over the place down the stretch for the Packers, and they were winning in spite of it, and then they found themselves in a close game. Yes, Jordan Love made mistakes in that game that cost them as well, but Anders missing kicks also put them in a not great position a couple of years ago, which is why, again, we found ourselves in this game of rotating chairs at the kicker position. And I just think that, especially when we talk about the running back position, there were still 3 other running backs that were drafted in the 7th round. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, you ended up with an undrafted one, but maybe one of those other guys you thought could be an undrafted free agent for you and ended up being a draft pick. And I feel like if you wanted more competition at the kicker spot, you already have 2. I think you could have found a 3rd and had just as good of a kicking competition. And this gets a little bit more highlighted if we get through camp and, all right, well, we're going to go with McManus, and he's going to be our kicker. And now you have an injury potentially at the running back position, and what are you going to do there? You could have used a draft pick to help you out. So I think that's where, and again, in an otherwise draft that I was fairly happy with, that's the one that just kind of leaves me scratching my head a little bit, because I think you can find kickers just about anywhere, as evidenced by finding Lucas Havrisik in the middle of last season when McManus was dealing with the injury.
When he was getting ready to be a substitute teacher. All right, I want you to hear what Goody had to say about drafting a kicker, especially after going through the growing pains with rookie kickers in 23 and 24. I also want to get to some of the other things that Goody had to say and get to your text messages on the Carbless Talk and text line. That's all still ahead with Gabe Neitzel as our cousin sub of the day. It's Wildy and Tausch.
This is Wildy and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
Life's better with Drive My Way from American Family Insurance, because we know it's more than just a car. It's your escape pod, your adventure mobile, your memory maker. And we help protect the dreams that drive you. Personalize what you pay for auto insurance and you could save between 10 and 35%. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products, pricing, and availability vary based on the way you purchase insurance and by state. Unsafe driving behaviors may increase your rate. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating companies, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
It's time for the Milwaukee Baseball Report on 94.5 ESPN. Brought to you by National Liquor Mart. Packed with the best beer, liquor, seltzer, and spirits deals in town. Located at 16th and National in Milwaukee. Open 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. daily, where your satisfaction is their plan of action.
The Brewers were able to avoid getting swept by the Pittsburgh Pirates with a 5-0 win in Game 3 of the weekend series. Starting pitcher Kyle Harrison was phenomenal, going 6 innings, allowing just 1 hit, no runs, and a career-high 12 strikeouts.
2 strikes, Harrison again winds and fires. Struck him out! He strikes out the side in the 6th at a new career high for Kyle Harrison. He's got a dozen strikeouts.
The homestand continues for the Crew as they will host the Arizona Diamondbacks for a 3-game set. I'm Will Summers.
This has been the Milwaukee Baseball Report on 94.5 ESPN. Brought to you by National Liquor Mart.
Your grill just got an upgrade, and it's right down the road.
Burn Pit BBQ is now available at Walmart.
That means no waiting, no guessing. Just grab it, fire up the grill, and get to work.
We're talking premium rubs, sauces, and seasonings made for real flavor and real results.
Every single time you cook.
Whether it's a quick weeknight dinner or a full weekend cookout with friends and family, Burn Pit BBQ helps you bring bold, consistent flavor to every bite.
Head to your local Walmart and find Burn Pit BBQ today, right in your neighborhood.
Because better BBQ should be easy to get and even easier to enjoy.
When you're getting married, the rings matter. There's something you wear for a lifetime. That's why my fiance and I went to Paul's Jewelers. Paul's Jewelers specializes in custom jewelry for life's biggest moments. Lab-grown or natural diamonds, great pricing, and a lifetime warranty, so your jewelry can be refurbished, repaired, or refitted anytime down the road. Their team made the entire process easy and stress-free. I can't wait to show off my wedding band after our big day. Create your masterpiece today by visiting Paul's Jewelers in West Allis.
Mark Tauscher here for Iron Jock. As a former athlete, I've worn just about every type of workout gear there is, and nothing compares to Iron Jock. Their performance apparel is built to fight sweat, odor, and bacteria, keeping you feeling fresh no matter how hard you push. From the gym to the pickleball court, Iron Jock keeps you dry, comfortable, and confident. Upgrade to Iron Jock. Available now at ironjock.com.
Fisco is always there for your auto body care. When accidents happen, Fisco Auto Body on Forest Home in Franklin is there when you need them. Got a broken mirror? They'll take care of it. Dented bumper? Scratch paint? Fisco Auto Body will take care of it. If there's any damage you need fixed, Fisco has you covered. Their expert workmanship is guaranteed for the life of your vehicle. So stop in for all of your auto bumps and dings. Once again, you know the line. That's Fisco.
2026 Brewers Group tickets are on sale now, and planning your next event at American Family Field has never been easier. Whether it's a company outing, family reunion, or night out with friends, bring your group of 15 or more to the ballpark and enjoy up to 25% off single game tickets with no service fees. All Brewers home games are available now. Start planning today, and a Brewers Group ticket rep will handle the rest. But hurry, tickets are moving fast. Plan your 2026 outing at brewers.com/groups.
You're listening to Wildy and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio.
So Gabe and I, we were thinking the same thing about the kicker. Mm-hmm. And you can say what you want about it, but the history is uneven. And the part that I don't get, and look, you said it, and frankly, Brandon McManus said it, the most embarrassing performance of his career. They lost the game because of me, is basically what he said. That doesn't mean you necessarily have to draft a new kicker. Because you know what it's like to have a rookie kicker, Brian Gutekunst. You did it in 23 and you did it in 24. And quite frankly, you picked up a guy that after some sort of incident that occurred on a flight to London, nobody wanted to touch. You were desperate enough to say, we can't keep doing this with kickers that are rookies. And guess what? Now you've set yourself up. And again, they claim they're not handing the job to Trace Smack. But now you've set yourself up to have a rookie kicker again with a team that you think is a Super Bowl team. So I found that to be an interesting...
About championship teams and championship kickers?
He once said that, indeed. So I felt compelled to ask Goody that. Here's how that went.
Person is a different person, but you know there were growing pains for Anders, there were growing pains for Braden Arvison. What makes you feel like it's worth trying this again when you did have, other than the playoff game, a lot of consistency from a veteran?
Yeah, I think it's. I mean, you got to keep trying. I mean, right? I mean, it's like that's. All players go through tough times in the National Football League. The kickers are front and center because it's not like they if the guard misses a block and the guy goes for 20 yards, nobody's on him like if the guy misses a kick. So it's a little different that way. I certainly expect all these rookies to come in and have tough times. I mean, that's part of the National Football League. But I do think, again, what we did to move up to get him, obviously we think very highly of him. We think he has a very good chance to succeed in this league. But we did it with Anders as well, So, I mean, that's part of this, and we'll kind of see how it goes.
Well, but here's the thing, Goody. You didn't have to go get him. Like, you could have traded up your 7th-round picks and taken someone else that you thought was valuable. And again, I don't know if he's going to be good or not. And again, neither does Goody. You heard him say it. We think he's got a chance to be very successful in this league. Yeah, right now, that's what you think. But you wouldn't have drafted Anders Carlson if you didn't think he could be successful, right? No one gets up to the podium, Gabe, and says, yeah, we think this guy probably is going to be a disappointment, but we figure what the hell.
Might as well try it, right?
Right?
Yeah, that's the reason why you get. And again, I think McManus has proven he can do it at a high level. And I know he missed a kick against Philly, and then he missed 3 kicks, including the extra point against Chicago. So his Packers playoff track record hasn't been good.
No.
Did kick in a Super Bowl, though.
He did.
Perfect in that Super Bowl. Is actually perfect in the run that Denver had back in 2016 when he was kicking for the Broncos. So if we're talking about championship level, like, he's proven he can do it. And I guess that's the problem. Like, if McManus goes, whoever ends up winning this kicking competition between McManus and Havrasek and Trey Smack, you're now taking a leap of faith because you don't know how they're going to handle playoff pressure until, well, guess what? We're in the playoffs.
Including, yes, and to your point, including Brandon McManus. I am not here jumping up and down on the table for Brandon McManus. Do not misunderstand me. This could be the best thing they did in the draft, right? If Trey Smack is the right guy and they kick a bunch of and he makes a bunch of kicks, my only question is, this is now 2 years in a row where I have wondered, are you overcorrecting based on what occurred in a playoff game? Mm-hmm. Oh, Philly pushed us around on the offensive line in that playoff loss. We need to get bigger up front. Oh, we would have won the game if our veteran kicker would have made 2 of the 3 kicks he missed. Now what, right? So I just find myself wondering if, and I don't blame anyone for thinking this way because I would be the same damn way. Oh, well, this is why we lost the playoff game. We need to do something different in that way.
And it's the funny part about this, as much as I've thought about this and as much as we've talked about it today and we talked about it this morning on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, like, looking at this draft class, I'm expecting them more to be pieces in the future, right? When you look at, and somebody had brought it up earlier about Goody's last couple of draft classes, the 23 and 24 draft classes, A, they had a ton more players. B, the Packers just had more open positions where guys could go grab spots, like Jaden Reed, initially Luke Musgrave, but then Tucker Kraft. And then in 2024, when Edgerrin Cooper, Javon Bullard, Evan Williams are all having this impact because, well, there are more positions open. There's only really one position and along the starters that's open right now. That's the corner opposite of Keyshawn Nixon. So maybe Brandon Cisse and Damani Jackson end up having, being a part of that competition. So it's funny because I look at this draft class mostly as, okay, these are probably depth pieces because who knows what the cornerback position looks like next year. Defensive tackle, who knows what it looks like next year. But now you've got Chris McClellan around. And in terms of determining whether or not the Packers are in the Super Bowl, the one player who might actually have the biggest say in that could be the one we're talking about in Trey Smack. Because if he ends up being the kicker, as we've just pointed out, the kicker ends up playing a huge role in these playoff games because they're tight games and every point ends up mattering.
You're exactly right. All right, let's play some trivia here. And then we will I really liked Goody's answer to me about the checking off the boxes. I want people to hear that, because I thought it was one of the best things he said. And again, it's not about the question, it's about the answer. Jesse, what's today's category and what color would you like?
It's about the question to get a good answer, though, right? So it's not about the question. The sports weekend recap on a Monday. It was a busy one with the NFL draft, playoffs galore, Brewers in action. So the sports weekend recap is today's trivia category.
Any questions about the fact that for the first time in forever, and like literally forever, the Badgers didn't have a single player get drafted?
I did not include any in trivia about that, but that will be addressed later in the program, I think, if you guys, without our Badgers Radio Network analyst here to, weigh in on it.
Well, you can't take caller 0. So what caller would you like?
Let's take caller 6. 6 picks, caller 6.
Okay, caller 6 right now, 844-770-3776, 844-770-3776. Caller 6 plays trivia presented by Iron Jock Cousin Subs and Vortex Golf. And speaking of Cousin Subs, we do have our Cousin Sub of the day. Cousin Subs, we believe in better. Gabe Neitzel. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Wilde and Tausch is presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio. The Homer Hour with special guests every day from 5 to 6.
That's why I said the toughest part to me for the Packers is that the division is, I think, better than it's been.
The best 60 minutes of your day happens on the Homer Hour.
So the issue is, and I'm working on the T-shirt right now, this season is very simple.
This guy.
Got to win the damn division.
Weekday afternoons from 5 to 6 on 94.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube.
Wisconsin weather doesn't ease into spring. It keeps you guessing. That's why your windows and doors need to handle everything. At Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, we build for year-round comfort. Now get 0% interest until 2030. That's years of no interest, so you can upgrade now and pay over time. Plus, enjoy a free in-home consultation, expert installation, and a 10-year limited warranty. But order by April 30th. Scheduled today at PellaWI.com.
Planning a high-level event shouldn't feel overwhelming. I'm Tiara Gomez, founder of Events by Design. For over 25 years, we've helped companies turn complex, high-pressure events into seamless, unforgettable experiences. When trying to engage your team and pull off something meaningful, the details matter. From concept to execution, we design every event so it reflects your vision and delivers real impact. No missed moments, just refined experiences people will remember. Let's start designing today. Search online, Events by Design.
Biz Expo is May 21st at Brookfield Conference Center. Attend strategy seminars on topics including business growth, preparing for cyber risks, AI for marketers, and much more. Stay for the lunch and learn on leadership and the cocktails and conversations panel. No suits, no scripts, no slides, just candid insights from leaders who make high-stakes decisions every day. Research the area's top product and service providers. Learn, network, and connect at Biz Expo on May 21st. Go to biztimes.com/bizexpo.
Slide into your neighborhood Century Food Store to score the freshest produce, tastiest treats, and everything in between. Now through Wednesday, save on 85% lean ground chuck, $4.99 a pound. Jumbo sweet onions, 99 cents a pound. 48-ounce selected varieties Edie's ice cream, 2 for $7. 5.9 to 16-ounce selected varieties Frito-Lay Lay's potato or kettle chips or Munchies, 2 for $5. Safe.
What?
It's a long fly ball.
Every time I scan, what is happening?
A leaping grab at the wall.
Okay, fine, I'll play. Get a load of this watermelon. And here's the pitch.
Please wait for assistance. Win Century Foods' ultimate fan experiences at Milwaukee baseball games. Throw out the first pitch, hold the ribbon for the Johnsonville famous sausage race, or watch batting practice from the field.
Ooh, what do I do?
Complete the entry form in Century's weekly ad and return to the store.
Oh, no, what happened here? Oh, self-checkout couldn't handle my heater. Here, I filled out my entry form. Gotta go. Have a great day. I'll go get the mop.
Enter by August 5th.
Your local bar could be your ticket to a global stage. Michelob Ultra's Soccer Shootout is giving fans the chance to win tickets to the FIFA World Cup 26 at Zocalo on Wednesday, May 6th, starting at 6:30 p.m. Also enjoy Michelob Ultra at Stenny's North Shore, Spanky's, and Elbow Room Cedarburg. Your neighborhood, your shot at the world's biggest game. Play for the chance to witness history. Michelob Ultra, official beer sponsor of the FIFA World Cup 26. Enjoy responsibly. 2026 Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri. No purchase necessary. Open to U.S. residents 21 plus. Void where prohibited.
Let's talk about home turf. Your lawn is a reflection of your pride, hard work, and even competitive spirit. If you want a yard that makes the neighbors stop and stare, you need the right plan. That's where Weedman Lawn Care comes in. Weedman's lawn care program is kid and pet friendly, uses golf course quality fertilizer, and has an effective weed treatment to dominate any issue. Get a free quote of Weedman's winning formula for your yard at weedman.com and get 50% off your first treatment. That's weedman.com. Weedman for the win.
You're listening to Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
It is time to play trivia presented by Cousin Subs, Iron Jock, and Vortex Golf.
Wildy and Tausch Trivia is presented by Iron Jock. No stink, just performance. And proudly Wisconsin built. Shop now at ironjock.com. By Cousin Subs. Try the new Protein Power Plays. For subs loaded with protein and made with fresh ingredients you love. All for just $7.99. And by Vortex Golf. Rangefinders you can bet on.
Let's welcome in our contestant, Brian in Williams Bay. Brian, how are you, buddy?
I'm wonderful. How about you guys?
We are.
Are you wonderful too?
Fantastic. Amazing.
Even better.
Hopefully you're fantastic at trivia so you can have the maximum number of 4 entries into our drawing. It is the Sports Weekend Recap. Question 1 is this. Which Heisman Trophy finalist became the first since 2014 to go undrafted? And I want to correct this. I do believe that he got an invitation to the Baltimore Ravens rookie camp. Did he actually sign? I think he's just there as a tryout guy, which might be even worse. Is that Diego Pavia, Luke Altmaier, or Mason Reiger?
Diego Pavia.
Yeah, Gabe, did I read that right? I did not see that he had signed.
You are correct. He just accepted an invite to rookie minicamp.
Ooh.
That's the same guy that was really upset with the Heisman voting for not getting him the victory, and then he slammed the Heisman process.
He also didn't hire an agent.
Correct, because he didn't want the agent taking 10% of his NFL contract when, NFL rules prohibit that, and you can only get 3% of the NFL contract if you're an agent. But teach their own, Jason. Teach their own.
Hard to believe nobody signed him or drafted him.
All right, question number 2. Which Milwaukee Brewers pitcher had a career-high 12 strikeouts and had allowed just 1 hit through 6 innings as the Crew defeated the Pirates 5-0 yesterday at American Family Field? Was it Jacob Mizorowski? Was it Kyle Harrison? Or was it Brandon Sproats?
Kyle Harrison.
It would appear that Bostonians were less than thrilled with that performance since he could be pitching for the Red Sox right now.
Yeah, they got a lot of things going on there. They just fired one of the 5 best managers in baseball, in Alex Cora. Yeah.
We should be trading with the Boston Red Sox every month.
It's netted some pretty good results.
By the way, if they don't win yesterday, they would have been swept by the Pirates.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Would Jesse have been having one of his his mistakes of conversations?
Would have been under 500.
I mean, he prematurely gives up on the Brewers every year. It's just a rite of passage at this point.
Not yet. Not this year.
They are a little streaky so far this season. All right, speaking of streaks.
Last place in the Central, not where we want to be at this point. But
what are you looking at the standings for on April 27th?
Because he's Jesse.
You don't want to get too far behind. There's some good competition in the division this year.
You wait until Memorial Day, you look at where you're at in the standings, and you go from there.
I just don't want to get too far behind is all, and we're behind. It's not too far, but we're a little behind.
Brian, you're playing from ahead right now. You're 2 for 2. Here's question 3. Which of these NBA playoff series does not enter today with the higher seeded team, better seeded team, if you're like Tausch and you can't tell the difference, holding a 3-1 series lead? Celtics Sixers, Spurs Blazers, or Timberwolves Nuggets?
I have no clue. I don't follow basketball. I'll take the first one.
Celtics, Sixers. Yeah, you don't follow basketball. Neither do I, very closely. But it is the Timberwolves who are the lower seed, the worst seed if you're trying to explain it to Tausch because he just disagrees fundamentally with how we describe that. And the Nuggets, what is that series at, Jesse?
It is 3-1, but the Timberwolves, as the 6th seed, hold that advantage in that series.
However, without the Ant-Man, who is going to be sidelined for a bit with a bone bruise in his knee and a hyperextension. And then they lost somebody else in that game,
Dante
too.
DiVincenzo tore his Achilles like 60 seconds into the game.
Other than that, though, things are going well.
And they still beat the Nuggets, and a big topic of conversation over the weekend I saw on social media comparing Jokic to Giannis in the postseason, and how come he doesn't get any flack for how they've performed compared to Giannis.
And Jokic is soft, too. Went after Jaden McDaniels after McDaniels made a layup at the end of the game because the game was in doubt and didn't think he should have done it. Ended up getting fined $50,000.
Yeah. That is trivia. Brian, you got 2 out of 3, which still ain't bad. That means you got 3 of the 4 entries into our drawing on Friday. Thanks for playing, buddy. We appreciate you.
Thank you. Have a great week.
That is Wildy and Tausch Trivia presented by Cousin Subs, Iron Jock, and Vortex Golf. We will get into the 11 o'clock hour where we will hear again from Goody and get to some of your texts with Gabe Neitzel, our Cousin Sub of the day. Cousin Subs, we believe in better. It's Wildy and Tausch.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wildy and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Not every order is a big order, but it still matters. At Big Frog Custom T-Shirts and more, there are no minimums. So whether you need 1 shirt or 100, you still get the same personalized service, hands-on design help, and high-quality results. Sometimes it's a small team, a quick idea, or something you just want to get right the first time. It's custom apparel without the pressure. Perfect for your business, event, and team. Big Frog makes it easy to create exactly what you need with a local team ready to help every step of the way. Get started today at bigfrog.com/Mequon.
Some companies build projects. At Professional Construction, Inc., we build relationships.
That means showing up early, taking pride in the details, and having each other's backs on and off the job site.
We're looking for skilled carpenters who really care about their craft and want to be part of a team.
Not just another paycheck, but a place where the people you work with actually matter.
If you work hard, take pride in what you build, and want to join a tight-knit crew, then we'd love to meet you.
Apply today at professionalconstructioninc.com.
Hey, it's Jason Wilde for Racine Danish Kringles, the official pastry of ESPN Milwaukee. Mother's Day is Sunday, May 10th, and you could send flowers again, or you could be the hero of the family and send a Kringle. We're talking flaky, buttery, melt-in-your-mouth goodness delivered right to her door in a beautiful Mother's Day gift box. Go classic with her favorite flavor, or go big with a heart-shaped Kringle topped with pink icing. It's fresh, it's delicious, and best of all, you didn't have to bake it. Go to Kringle.com or call 1-800-4DANISH.
When you work smart, incredible things can happen. By joining Smart 18, the union for Wisconsin sheet metal workers, you'll open the door to a brighter future. You'll learn and earn more. Enjoy awesome benefits across the board. Build a great career and feel empowered and supported every step of the way. The smartest career decision you'll ever make starts with Smart 18. Find out more today at smart18info.com.
You're listening to 94.5 ESPN, WKTI and WKTI HD Milwaukee, a Good Karma Brands radio station.
The 11 o'clock hour of Wilde and Tausch with Gabe Neitzel, our cousin sub of the day. Cousin subs, we believe in better. Begins now. And I do want you to hear Goody's answer because I think Gabe and I both agree that Jaden Reed is star-spangled awesome. No. I mean, you do think he's awesome for the role that he plays, right? I don't want to mischaracterize your position.
He is a good player, Jason, and I just feel there have been times where maybe he's been underutilized. And look, they paid him, so they wanted to keep him around, and that's why I was doubtful that they were going to pay him, is because they did not play him a ton. He's played less than 60% of the snaps in his career. Yeah. And when you're playing someone that little, you don't think that you're going to necessarily pay them. But they did. So, again, the paying tells you what they feel about him and his role within the team.
I think his cultural additions also matter a lot.
Especially when you've had culture
issues.
issues.
What we've talked about. Indeed. But I did want, I think we both agree, is what I was going to say before we went back to Jaden Reed, because I couldn't help myself, that they checked the boxes they needed to check. You know, I don't disagree with Tausch. You would have liked to have gotten a running back. Goody said flat out he would have liked to have gotten a tight end. But again, you chose to trade up for a kicker, which, I'm sorry, I don't believe you. Yes, if Trey Smack comes to camp and stinks, then maybe it is a competition. But he is the leader in the clubhouse without even having teed off yet.
So you think the team values the draft pick more than the $1 million they've already given McManus?
Yes.
Okay.
I do. Even though we're very worried about private equity coming into the NFL. Yes, that's what I think. So, again.
Yeah, because, I mean, that's easy to write off, Jason. Like, oh, okay, we gave it. Yeah,
just write it off.
It's X amount of dollars we're spending on the kicker. Yes, we're not giving, if it's not McManus who wins the kicking competition, right. The Packers' math on it would be, well, we're just spending X amount of dollars on the kicking position, even if we are cutting a guy and already gave him $1 million.
Precisely.
It's factored into the budget.
So he checked off pretty much every box there was. Josh DiMaggio and I discussed that on our draft coverage. You and I agree on that now. So I asked Goody about it. And here's how Goody responded.
When Ted would do these, he would always say, that's just the way it worked out. He would even say that when he traded up for Clay Matthews, so I'm not sure how that worked. But when you guys are in your garage sitting around the beer fridge, do you feel like you checked off every item on your list, other than maybe the Y tight end? Yeah. And how does that make you feel about the way the whole thing went?
You know, Jason, to be honest, I don't know if I ever feel like I've checked every box, because I don't know if anything's ever complete. You know, I mean, that doesn't mean I don't feel really good about what our team looks like. But to me, and I've talked, I probably said it to you guys, it annoys you, but this is 365. So yeah, these 3 days were really good. I feel really good about what we did. I feel good about our process and I'm really proud of our staff for setting the board up like they did and having the answers to a lot of the things we were trying to figure out. But you know, tomorrow, and this has been the way it's always been, but tomorrow we'll gather sometime around 9 o'clock. We'll take a look at it and say, okay, what's next? And we'll start in, you know, what's coming tomorrow and the next day, and that won't change. So I feel like, again, I felt good about our team before this weekend. These guys, I think, are going to be really good additions to our locker room and then our football team, and I think they'll help us. But, you know, tomorrow's another day, and we'll see if there's areas we can improve, and if we can, we will.
So, Gabe, when you hear that, what is your thought process on his thought process?
Yeah, I think, to me, it kind of, you know, I think it kind of follows the best player available thing that he always pushes out there, and I know some people push back. But because if it wasn't, I don't think they go and draft a kicker. Right? Right? Because nobody had, of all the needs that people had written down for this team, I don't think kicker was one of them, despite obviously some people being not very happy with the kicking situation, the way it played off in the postseason game. And yeah, I think there are some things he would have liked to have done, but sometimes it's the board, sometimes it's the draft class. Yeah, you'd like to add a tight end, but if it's a tight end that's not any good and is not going to help you, then what's the point of drafting that player?
Right.
Just to say you drafted a tight end, oh, hey, we tried. No, he's trying to draft guys that he feels good about. And, you know, at the times that they were on the board, they couldn't go out and get that tight end. I thought that they would draft a wide receiver, Jason, with the 8 picks, but maybe they felt, okay, with the wide receivers that are available, it's better off that we trade up and we're able to go get some of the different players, you know, whether it ends up being Trey Smack, whether it's Chris McClellan, that they decide, those picks, they'd be nice to have, but we'd rather have this specific player instead.
And also to your point, and this is what Joshy and I and Strofe were talking about on Saturday, and why I think I got clipped talking about how this could be Goody's best draft. Well, from the perspective of until he picked Trey Smack, which obviously he thought was a need that we didn't think was a need, right? Like, as you said, like, I thought, yeah, Brandon McManus gacked in the playoff game. You want to be pissed at him? Go ahead. Because guess what? He's pissed at himself. Probably still is, right? Because I always appreciate players that take ownership, right? As opposed to making excuses or, I don't know, say that they're playing great when they're barely playing any snaps, low snap count guys. But what I thought and what Joshy thought was, all right, you said you needed to add numbers to corner. You drafted 2 of them out of only 6 players that you picked, right? You wanted to get help on your defensive line, both interior and on the edge. You did that. You definitely needed offensive line depth. I'm going to give Goody a hard time, and I make these mistakes on the air, so I get it. But, like, when you're saying that one of the guys that provides you with depth is a guy whose name you got wrong when you said his name, again, we all have brain cramps. I'm certainly not above that. It happens to me all the time. Goody and I are roughly the same age. I get it. But Dominic, not Donovan Jennings, which he actually is named Donovan, how good can you possibly think he is?
Yeah.
You're not saying Jesse Morgan. You're saying Jordan Morgan, right? And then, look, I don't know what the Alabama corner, Damani Jackson, is going to be. The guy was like one of the top recruits in the country. Well, it did not go well for him.
No, but I guess I don't know how you feel about it, Jason, but I kind of feel better if you're taking a corner and a flyer on a corner in the 6th round. I kind of feel better about the one that was one of the top recruits and played at Alabama in the SEC versus somebody that maybe went to, Northern Illinois or directional Michigan, who might be very good players. Those good players have come from those small schools, right? But again, you're taking a flyer on a corner and you want to have the best competition possible for the corner opposite of Keyshawn Nixon. I'm going to give the guy that was at Alabama a little bit more of the benefit of the doubt.
Right. And look, we'll have to wait and see, but you made the point earlier, and you were right about it. Don't draft a tight end just to be able to check the box that said, hey, we need tight ends. Because they do, right? You're going to extend Tucker Kraft. I'm guessing they're going to let Luke Musgrave walk out the door after the season. You have Josh Wiley back on a 1-year deal. John Fitzpatrick is recovering from an Achilles tear. He's a free agent, technically. Like, they need numbers there. The only place where I would quibble...
with that, just quickly, Jason, do you think, just based on, again, they only end up having 6 draft picks. The draft class talked about as not being very deep. Yeah, they've added undrafted free agents, but I've got questions about how viable those guys are if the draft class isn't very deep. Could this be a year... And certainly Goody has done this before, but could this be a year, especially after training camp cutdowns happen, that they're trying to be more active in picking up some of the veterans that are let go to try to backfill this roster since maybe they weren't able to do so the way they 100% wanted to with the draft?
Well, no, of course not, because Goody said that he feels really good about their depth. So they don't need to do that. No, I think that's probably true. And in fairness to Goody, he also says in his answer to me on my question, this is 365, and they were going to be in the office again on Sunday at 9 o'clock talking about what's next. And so, yeah, I think that's realistic. And we haven't even gotten into the backup quarterback thing, which I'm not omniscient, but it never made sense for me to sign Kirk Cousins, to trade for a quarterback that somebody else doesn't want anymore, or to draft one on day 3. This is why they have Desmond Ridder. You can say, I don't think Desmond Ridder is going to be Malik Willis 2.0, and you may be right. But I thought Goody's answer on that, which we'll probably have to get to tomorrow with Tauscher, I thought that was really telling. Like, he basically acknowledged that they have to have a competent backup. Because Jordan, he said flat out, Jordan has missed time each of the last 2 years, which I thought was a pretty big admission.
And again, I don't think that's necessarily a Jordan problem. I don't look at Jordan as injury
it's the league. Right.
They're playing 17 games. The league has 100% injury rates. And I mean, like, Bears fans don't like hearing it. He took a cheap shot. And you know who agreed it was a cheap shot? The league, 'cause they fined the guy.
Correct.
So he took a cheap shot and he missed time because of a concussion. And that can happen to anyone at any time.
Correct.
And as tight as the margins can be in the NFL, you need to have somebody that you can trust to go in there and win you football games, as we saw with Malik a couple of years ago.
So, yes, to answer your question in a very long, roundabout way, I would guess that they'll probably take a pretty close look at the waiver wire, maybe closer than they have in the past.
I'm really curious, Jason, to see if some of those guys that other teams don't want, because Will Levis didn't get traded. Richardson from Indianapolis didn't get traded. And those are guys that I think the Packers could be interested in. And if they were out there on the market, they're not sticking around with their teams. Like the Colts aren't going, yeah, Anthony Richardson's going to stick around here this year. I wonder if they end up being post-June 1 cuts. And then the Packers could potentially kick the tires then, bringing them in.
Sure.
I would prefer whoever the quarterback is. Yes, it worked out with Willis. It's amazing that it did because he came in and then had to start 2 weeks later after they acquired him. And
there was no evidence that he'd be good coming into it.
Correct. I would prefer that whoever the backup quarterback is going to be is at least with the team at the beginning of training camp. So at least you can go all through camp and there's a level of comfortability when that player – again, you're hoping he doesn't have to go in, but in the event he does, you want to have a little bit of that comfortability.
And that's why they got Desmond Ridder. Whether you like that or not, he started 18 games in the league. They got him late in the 2025 season, so he's been in their system now since December. He will have spent the entire offseason here. Assuming they don't move on from him, he will spend the entire training camp here. He will have a lot more banked than Malik Willis did when Malik Willis had to play. Whether or not he's as good as Malik Willis turned out to be, I don't know. And probably, by the way, he probably isn't.
He's not. Which again, I'm not a Desmond Ridder guy. I would prefer they replace him. I could be wrong about that, and he could be a serviceable backup. I know how I would bet about Desmond Ridder playing a couple of seasons with the Packers and then getting $45 million elsewhere.
Yeah, I don't see that.
Nope. That's not happening.
I would agree. All right, we want to get to a couple of other things. We will do that coming up after I tell you about Gruber offices. Now, there's something you can bet on. You can bet that you're going to get absolute great legal advice. You're going to get the best lawyers in the business, and you're going to win. That's what they do, and you don't pay until they do. More importantly, David, he's not just a great friend, but avid listener to the show. Certainly knows when I've managed to find my way with Sydney into the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel, sitting behind Taylor Jenkins' butt during a game in his seats. And more importantly, though, if I ever do get injured, and I hope I never do, I know who to call. One call, that's all. Gruber Law Offices. 414-276-6666. 414-276-6666. Sydney and I are going to sign that photo and send it to Taylor Jenkins, wishing him good luck as the Bucs coach. Again, Gruber offices, one call, that's all. More Wildy and Tausch.
Jesse had to put up, if you're not watching on YouTube, you need to, because Jesse, just in case you don't know which one of these in this picture is Jason, had to put a little name tag next to your head.
It is, I thought that was a nice touch, yeah.
I don't know. I'm sorry. That really hit me.
Clarify. Well, he wanted to make sure you could find me.
So make sure to point out who's who there. New coach of the Bucs,
Jason Wildy. More Wildy and Tausch straight ahead. Stick around.
This is Wildy and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, and sponsored by American Family Insurance. Brew Crew Tuesdays are back on April 28th.
Turio sends it deep to left, and there she goes!
Catch the Brewers on local TV as they battle the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Yelich launches one deep right center field. Forget about it. Oh, my goodness, third deck.
This edition of Brew Crew Tuesdays is presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Tune in April 28th at 6:40 on Fox 6 in Milwaukee, or check your local listings to watch the game.
Hungry for something fresh and delicious? Get your favorites from Cousin Subs delivered straight to your door. From our freshly baked bread and hand-sliced meats and cheeses to our famous sides, crispy golden fries, Wisconsin cheese curds, or creamy mac and cheese. Every meal made to order and ready to enjoy. Ordering is quick and easy online or through the Cousins app. Whether it's a solo lunch, family dinner, or a spread for the whole crew, let us bring it straight to you, fast and fresh. Cousin Subs. We believe in better.
No matter what business you're in, as the #1 SBA lender in Wisconsin, Summit Credit Union helps your vision take shape with loan programs, great rates, and strategic solutions.
Awarded the #1 SBA lender by the Small Business Administration of Wisconsin in 2025.
Vortex Golf makes rangefinders for serious golfers who need an accurate number every time. With 3 options, the Blade, Blade Slope, and Anarch, there's a Vortex rangefinder that fits your game. Crystal clear optics and features like image stabilization keep you steady in big moments. Plus, every Vortex Golf product is backed by a no-questions-asked lifetime warranty. If you're looking for an accurate number every time, Vortex Golf belongs on your bag. Grab yours and everything you need for golf season in Wisconsin at Shields.com.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer, providing equal employment, development, and advancement opportunities to all teammates and applicants. To learn more about careers with us, please send an email to talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com. That's talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com.
Your local bar could be your ticket to a global stage. Michelob Ultra's soccer shootout is giving fans the chance to win tickets to the FIFA World Cup 26 at Zocalo on Wednesday, May 6th, starting at 6:30 p.m. Also enjoy Michelob Ultra at Stenny's North Shore, Spanky's, and Elbow Room Cedarburg. Your neighborhood, your shot at the world's biggest game. Play for the chance to witness history. Michelob Ultra, official beer sponsor of the FIFA World Cup 26. Enjoy responsibly. 2026 Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri. No purchase necessary. Open to U.S. residents 21+. Void where prohibited.
In 1987, the Bucks took on the world and changed basketball forever.
At stake, basketball supremacy in the United States.
Bucks versus the World, narrated by Charlie Behrens, is the new season of Behind the Bucks podcast, presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. It's the untold story of the 1987 McDonald's Open, when the Bucks became the first NBA team to face the Soviet Union. Listen now on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and wherever you get podcasts.
Looking to transform your home with stylish furniture and home accessories without breaking the bank? At your local IKEA in Oak Creek, they believe everyone deserves a beautiful and affordable living experience that enhances your everyday life. From comfortable and fashionable sofas and sectionals, to kitchens full of inspiration, to bedrooms designed to help you find your best sleep and relaxation, IKEA's home furnishing combines form and function to fit any lifestyle and budget. Visit IKEA Oak Creek today or explore their collection online at ikea.com/US.
Do you worry about how much someone drinks? Do you feel neglected or unloved? If you answered yes to any of these questions, you are not alone.
Al-Anon and Alateen can help. Call 1-866-200-0223 or visit alanon.org/help.
You're listening to Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Willie and Tausch rolls on with Gabe Neitzel as our cousin sub of the day. Cousin subs, we believe in better. Jesse, leave yourself some time for Wonelli. But tell us what you got on the text portion.
It is. Yeah. It's weird.
Of the talk and text line.
It's just a question.
I do have a lot of texts that people have sent in throughout the course of the show. A lot of good ones. So we'll get to as many as we can here right now. Starting with a 262 number. Remember, if you're texting us for one of the... We have several first-time texters today, so make sure you tell us your name and where you live so that we can give you a proper courtesy when we review the Carbless talk and text line. Less is more. This one from the 262. Let's appreciate the fact that the most controversial decision for the Packers draft was what they did in the 6th round.
Yeah. I think that's fair. I mean, it's a lot better than drafting a kicker in the 3rd round, Jason. That's for sure.
Trading up for a punter.
Yeah, all those things. And I think it does kind of say that, hey, I like the positions that they drafted ahead of this. I think that everything they did made sense. Whether or not all those players work out obviously remains to be seen, which is why I think it's just so hard to kind of like grade drafts, because I think every general manager's walking away today thinking that they nailed it while also knowing that they didn't. It's got to be a really weird feeling. I like all these guys. I like our process. I think we did the right things. Some of these guys just aren't going to be very good. And that's just the life of the general manager. But I agree with this texter that the 5 picks they made before the kicker, I think it's hard not to go, yeah, this all makes sense.
I would say there have certainly been controversial picks made previously in drafts. So trading up for a kicker in the 6th round is tame by comparison. But that doesn't and I'm not picking on Chris McClellan here just because, he went to John Anderson University. But I don't know, he could be terrible, right? And we could look back and go, oh my gosh, look at who was taken with the 78th pick. Or look, other than Tucker Kraft, do we have a 3rd round pick during the Goody era that we view as a really good pick? Would you like a little help with that?
Other than Tucker Kraft, the answer is no.
Amari Rodgers was pretty sweet.
Your 3rd round picks during the Goody era: Oren Burks, Jace Sternberger.
I will say Oren Burks has lasted in the league a lot longer than
he's turned into a nice player for a bunch of teams.
Yeah. Josiah DeGuara, Amari Rodgers, Sean Ryan.
Okay, Sean Ryan. Yeah, Sean Ryan's solid player.
He was trending when he played 1 snap as a rookie and then got suspended. You thought maybe the curse had got him too. Tucker Kraft.
All right, 2 in a row.
Marshawn Lloyd.
All right, not so much.
Tyron Hopper.
I'm still curious about Tyron, but
he had a pick in the playoff game.
The fact that they felt the need to go add Zaire Franklin kind of tells you how they feel about Tyron Hopper.
Savion Williams, jury's still out. Missed a lot of time last year. And now joining that group is Chris McClellan. All right.
I'll tell you what I like about McClellan and DDS. Those guys had production. And I know when you talk about the production, usually it's kind of
so did Diego Pavia.
Yeah. It's aimed more at the 1st round picks, right?
Yeah.
Where Lucas Van Ness, athletic freak. But he didn't have the production in college, and now you're seeing that kind of play out. Same thing with Rashawn Gary, where he didn't have the college production despite being a physical freak. And I think DDS specifically kind of threads the needle of both, where he tested out fantastically, had great numbers at Penn State, and much like Goody, I am surprised he lasted to the 4th round.
Yeah, agreed. And now he gets to play with another Nittany Lion, a guy named Micah Parsons. Jesse, you got another text or two?
I do. Paul in Skokie, Illinois texts us. Best pick is Dennis Sutton. Also, Packers must feel good about Marshawn Lloyd. They didn't draft a running back and only signed Nixon as a free agent.
Yeah, Paul, to your point, the question is not whether or not they must feel good about Marshawn Lloyd, because clearly they do. It's whether they should. Right?
Yeah.
And again, I feel bad for him. I try not to make too many jokes because can you imagine how much it sucks to finally get to your NFL dream and be literally he was about to play and he suffers an appendicitis and has to have emergency surgery. He's about to play last year after all the time he missed with the calf on injured reserve, and then he hurts his hamstring again. Not only has he only played in 1 game and gotten hurt in the 1 game, he also only played in 1 preseason game and got hurt in that. And twice he's been on the cusp of getting back out there and something happened to him again. So I feel terrible for him. I'm not a doctor, so I don't know. Is there something that he's not doing a good enough job of? That they sent him to UW-Madison.
Yep.
And to look at his hamstrings, which helped Eric Stokes and helped Christian Watson, but apparently hasn't helped him.
Yeah.
So I feel bad for him, but this is not show friends, it's show business. And the truth of the matter is that no matter how good you feel about him, no matter how bad you feel for him, we don't know if he can be counted on to be the backup running back, period.
And as much as I would love him to be running back 2, I also would like to see a contingent plan, a contingency plan for the Packers, because as unfortunate as those injuries are, they're a reality. And if he has another one that's going to keep him out for a long time, as much as Joshy loves Chris Brooks, even he knows that Chris Brooks is not running back 2. Right? Like he's got a role. He knows what his role is, and he plays it well when he needs to be in the game. But I don't think Chris Brooks is someone that you're going to be comfortable turning around and handing it off to 20-plus times in the case that Josh Jacobs has to miss a game.
Agreed.
One more text here from Joe in Green Bay on the Carbless ESPN Wisconsin Talking Text line. Joe says, solid draft. His favorite pick was Domani Jackson. Will be the Mike McKenzie to Brandon Ceese's Antoine Edwards. Least favorite was Sugar Smacks, what he's calling Trey Smack. Don't draft specialists, says Joe in Green Bay.
Sugar Smack, that was the Kellogg's one, right, with the frog?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Not to be confused with
Golden Crisp.
I've never seen anyone buy a big box of Sugar Smacks. It's only been in that little, like, when they do the traveling 8-pack of the small that's the only
place. You go to the Continental Breakfast at the hotel, and they got one of the little mini boxes there for you.
Or like when we used to go to the Dells, my mom would buy that for like the couple of days that me and the friends would go, like, okay, here, who wants the Sugar Smacks? Who wants the Frosted Flakes? Who wants the Apple Jacks? That's the only place I've ever seen the Sugar Smacks.
Apple Jack's underrated. I will say that.
I would agree. Better than Fruit Loops, if that's a controversial take.
It might be, but I like it. Jason Wilde giving hot cereal takes.
Cold cereal takes as well. Look, and again, I say this. I don't know Domani Jackson from the guy
Mike McKenzie.
From Mike McKenzie or Michael Jackson.
Yeah, there you go.
Which, by the way, do we have any interest in that movie at all?
I do not.
I don't either.
Especially because I heard it basically just ends at 1989 before any controversy starts happening.
Yeah, interesting approach to his story.
Maybe there's a sequel.
Kind of an incomplete look at the life and times of Michael Jackson.
Hard to believe that they would do that with his nephew, Jermaine Jackson's son, playing him. Really surprising that they would take that approach to the film. Again, we're not here to review films, but I don't know Jackson at all. I would say getting benched during your final season at Alabama is not a great sign for how you were viewed. It doesn't matter how high of a recruit you were coming out. And what did he do? He spent 2 years at USC first and then transferred to Alabama. Like, he could be a great bargain, to Joe's point. And maybe that's the case. But he has a lot to prove based on the way his time in college played out.
Stella agrees.
She couldn't agree more, in fact. She's taking an issue with my take, actually. All right, that is your text messages on the Carbless Talking text line. Next, we've left Jesse just enough time for Whoa Nelly, so stick around.
This is Wilde and Tausch is presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Mark Tauscher here for Iron Jock. As a former athlete, I've worn just about every type of workout gear there is, and nothing compares to Iron Jock. Their performance apparel is built to fight sweat, odor, and bacteria, keeping you feeling fresh no matter how hard you push. From the gym to the pickleball court, Iron Jock keeps you dry, comfortable, and confident. Upgrade to Iron Jock. Available now at ironjock.com.
A huge month of Brewers baseball kicks off with a battle against the Yankees Friday, May 8th through Sunday, May 10th. Catch the crew for half off with Wisconsin's first Friday game tickets on Friday the 8th. Plus, Mother's Day Sunday is the perfect game to bring the whole family with new kids experiences every Sunday. Plus, the first 10,000 fans over the age of 21 get a Brewers picnic blanket at the Mother's Day game, courtesy of American Family Insurance. Score your tickets at Brewers.com.
Mark Tauscher here. People ask, why did I join UW Credit Union? Well, let's break it down. Convenient local branches, easy to use mobile banking app, rewards checking with early payday, and that beautiful Bucky debit card. Also, they've been serving Wisconsin since 1931, which means they have local expertise that's actually local. So stop by a branch or visit uwcu.org to join today and become a UW Credit Union member like I did. Federally insured by NCUA. Terms and conditions apply.
Don't think twice. Call Geist.
Don't let a busted garage door get you down. Call my friends at Geist today. For 70 years, Geist has been the trusted garage door authority in Wisconsin. With brands like CHI and LiftMaster, they have doors for every budget and will even build custom designs to get your exact needs. For swift and reliable garage repair solutions, go to geistdoors.com. That's GEIS doors.com. You can also visit their amazing showroom in Brookfield, featuring hundreds of doors and openers and their custom design room.
Don't think twice. Call Geist.
Life's better with American Family Insurance because we know you love working weekends. If it means working on your dream home, both inside and out. And we're here to help protect those dreams so you can enjoy peace of mind. Save up to 40% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products, pricing, and availability vary based on where you purchase insurance and by state. Some exclusions apply. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating companies, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
It's Mike with Infinity Exteriors. I've seen it all, Wisconsin. Sketchy sales gimmicks for low-quality windows, siding that costs more than a new home, fly-by-night roofers. 60,000 happy customers made a better choice. Infinity Exteriors roofing, siding, and windows all come with our lifetime workmanship warranty, no overcharges, and transparent pricing. At Infinity Exteriors, we're on a mission to save our communities from unscrupulous contractors. Visit infinityexteriors.com.
Injured? Call Gruber Law Offices today. One call, that's all.
Feels like the world is a little broken lately. Maybe all we need is a fix. Most spirits are acidic. Fix Vodka is different. Fix Vodka is the world's first high-alkaline, acid-free vodka. Handcrafted with natural spring water and select grain. Clean, smooth, done right. Better water, better vodka. Get your local Fix.
Fix Vodka.
Enjoy responsibly.
1 in 10 young adults will experience a form of homelessness this year.
For over 50 years, Covenant House has been helping youth in crisis. To learn more, go to covenanthouse.org today.
You're listening to Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
Jesse, you programmed it so your favorite royalty-free song can lead into Whoa Nelly.
If the topic is good, the guys discuss.
Just the other morning I had breakfast at Tracy Rocker's house. His mama bought out 15 flapjacks. He said, Mama, take back 5 of them flapjacks. I gotta stay hungry for the Crimson Tide.
But if it's not, the show must go on. It's time for Whoa Nelly on Wilde and Tausch.
So Pittsburgh hosted the 2026 NFL Draft over the weekend. By all reports, they did a fantastic job. I don't know. We'll ask Evan, I guess, tomorrow. Evan Cohen of Unsportsmanlike, if he enjoyed his time there when Unsportsmanlike was there on Thursday and Friday of last week. The Pittsburgh Steelers draft class included some names that were of interest for Packers fans going into the draft. Jennings Dunker, the offensive tackle who enjoys the blue-roofed establishments in the greater Midwest, he was selected by the Steelers, 96th overall. Caden Wheatgen, of Iowa, the wide receiver who's also a special teams return specialist. He was selected in the 4th round by the Pittsburgh Steelers. And Milwaukee's own tight end national champion for the Indiana Hoosiers and Wisconsin transfer, Riley Nowakowski, was selected by the Pittsburgh Steelers. Did we all go into the draft thinking Mike McCarthy was still the coach of the Packers and that was the philosophy that Goody was going to take building this roster? Because it looks like everybody that we thought would come here would actually end up in Pittsburgh.
Well, is that because you guys were listening to Brian Bulaga give his draft guide and he was just listing everybody from Iowa on top of his board?
In part,
what was happening here?
In part. It was a little bit to do with it.
Not biased at all.
Tauscher was big on Wheatgen, though, for the special teams component that he brings.
He was.
So.
You're right. That was his guy. And Mike McCarthy took him. I didn't really. Is the Dunkster? Are we missing out there? Are we going to regret him not being a Packer, other than his connection to everyone's favorite Butterburger establishment?
Wait, are we not? Is that like Voldemort? We're not supposed to say that on this show? Why are you guys like dancing around that?
The big fella, he just doesn't want to give away free advertising except to places that have ice cream.
He'll give it to ice cream, not to custard.
And apparently custard does not count. So yeah.
Why not?
You'll have to ask him.
It's a great question for him.
I think
this would have been good information to have before he joined us earlier in the program. I could have asked him.
When we look at the Packers draft class, and if they would have stayed where they were to get Jennings Dunker, I think he'll be a guy that, similarly to TJ Watt, not just because he's in Pittsburgh, but he's somebody that we'll keep tabs on moving forward compared to some of the other picks that the Packers made in this draft. That's the way that I would expect that we will look at that.
Whoa, Nelly!
Speaking of Pittsburgh, we're not done with the Steelers.
Thanks for your thoughts.
Head coach Mike, you asked.
It's true, I did.
Head coach Mike McCarthy appeared on the Rich Eisen show on Friday and shared
and we got to him late.
Very significant update on the future of Aaron Rodgers with the Pittsburgh Steelers, as it was speculated all weekend. He said he would have an answer before the draft. Anyone thought, well, maybe he'll break the news at the draft in Pittsburgh. So here's what Mike McCarthy said on the Rich Eisen show.
We're in constant, consistent communication, and so he's going through his process. But we're just continuing to keep working. Our focus is on the draft, and hopefully we'll have a decision in the near future.
How about that nothing burger from Mike
McCarthy? What's he supposed to say?
So the iPhone must be working if they're in constant and consistent communication.
Well, clearly he's FaceTiming him.
What?
He is who he is. He's a complicated fella. And Mike McCarthy knew when he took on this job that this was going to be part of the deal.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't really part of the deal during his tenure.
No.
In Green Bay.
It was not.
It wasn't. He dealt with it with Favre. Yep. Definitely dealt with it with Favre. Did not deal with it. He had to deal with it when he got the job in Green Bay in 2006. Had to deal with it in 2007. And then Brett was nice enough to retire in 2008. And then that was the end of the story. He just went off into the sunset.
Nothing happened after that, yeah.
Exactly. So he knew what he signed up for. It is what it is. But I would be curious, and the quarterback did not respond to my text about, hey, I've got these Wisconsin Sports Awards. What do you want me to do with them? So I don't know. Yeah, he never picked them up. Been in the office for years. Kept telling him, because I didn't want to. They're heavy. There were like 3 of them.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to schlep them down to the locker room.
Well, the cost to ship them at this point, Jason, that's, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe when he comes back for his Packers Hall of Fame induction, you can just give it to him then.
Perfect. Keep him in storage. But my point is that is he really uncertain if he wants to play or not? Or does he just not want to deal with the offseason program? Because that was Favre's deal. You knew eventually he was going to play. Pretty much every year, starting in 2003, which is when this conversation started with him. I don't know.
I with Aaron, I think he genuinely doesn't know, because I think he has a lot of interests outside of football that he enjoys pursuing, especially during the offseason, that kind of get him away from the game. And we know how he feels about the offseason workouts anyway. But
introducing Homer to his wife. Also
things of that nature, yes.
Yeah.
The Steelers did draft Drew Aller, the quarterback from Penn State, on day 2. They took him. So,
I mean, McCarthy's done a good job developing some quarterbacks. He's going to have his hands full with that one.
That has been your Gabe Neitzel scouting report on Drew Aller.
Very, very, very frustrating.
We will wrap things up next. It's Wildy and Tausch.
Wildy and Tausch continues next on 94.5 ESPN, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, and sponsored by American Family Insurance. Brew Crew Tuesdays are back on April 28th.
Turio sends it deep to left, and there she goes!
Catch the Brewers on local TV as they battle the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Yelich launches one deep right center field. Forget about it. Oh, my goodness. Third deck.
This edition of Brew Crew Tuesdays is presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Tune in April 28th at 6:40 on Fox 6 in Milwaukee, or check your local listings to watch the game.
Straight Talk Wireless presents Pickup Truck Wisdom.
If you're only good to your new friends, you're not going to have any old ones. Straight Talk gets it. That's why new and existing customers get free 5G phones on Verizon's 5G network. Pretty simple, really. You keep good people by being good people.
Find us at straighttalk.com and Walmart. Straight Talk Wireless. Straightforward. Always. Taxes and fees apply. Plan purchase required for free phone offers. Copyright 2026 Verizon.
Progressive knows that for business owners, vacations hit different. But hey, at least you finally took a vacation. And look at that. You only answered 53 calls, 84 emails, onboarded 1 new hire, and covered for Chris while he's out on paternity leave, and you did it all from a kayak. Because you, my friend, know how to relax. All right, you may not know how to take a day off, but you do know both your personal and business auto insurance needs can be covered in one place with Progressive. So at least that's relaxing, right? Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states or situations.
I'm not against shopping online. In fact, you can check out our huge selection at BurkhartSportingGoods.com. But when you're ready to buy, Burkhart should be your only stop. Because here, you can grab hold of the Midwest's largest selection of baseball bats, gloves, and equipment, and take all the swings you need in our indoor batting cages to make sure you buy the right bat. And when you buy your new mitt, we'll steam and custom fit it for you right on the spot. This is Brian Burkhart, and when you love baseball and softball like we do,
You can't beat Burkhart.
if you're in charge of uniforms and equipment, you want to get the most value for your team's budget. You want the most for your money, and you want the process to be easy. Because you already have enough on your plate. We get it. Burkhart Sporting Goods Team Outfitting Division is the best you'll find. With an abnormally high customer satisfaction rate and our own silk screening and embroidery facility for quality control. So if you want the highest quality team outfitting and incredible service,
You can't beat Burkhart.
You live for this. The wins, the losses, the slam dunks, and the buzzer beaters. The dream that this is your team's year. Hope, it's what keeps you coming back. So you represent with anticipation and with pride. Because when everything's on the line, your support means everything. That's why the NBA store is here to support you. Check out the largest selection of official NBA gear at NBAstore.com. A Fanatics experience.
Hey Wisconsin, it's construction season and the Wisconsin DOT wants to help you safely navigate work zones in your area. Check 511wi.gov or download the free 511 app to see current road work, closures, detours, and camera views on your route. Wherever your travels take you, know before you go with 511wi.gov. That's 511wi.gov. And remember, know before you go. Always park the phone while driving. Sponsored by the Wisconsin DOT.
ESPN Wisconsin's Gabe Neitzel here for Events by Design. If you're planning an annual meeting, leadership summit, product launch, or trade show, you already know the pressure is on. Events by Design takes those high-stake moments and turns them into immersive experiences that energize your audience and elevate your brand. They handle everything: designing, planning, production, ensuring your event is executed seamlessly. No stress, no scrambling, just a memorable experience that delivers. Get started today. Just search online. Events by Design. They design, you party.
This is Wildy and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Sponsored by American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Participate in the poll, which was posted on the YouTube channels. Not to be confused with now, my iPhone is suggesting me polls to ask in texts. Not only do we have that available, but now the iPhone is asking me if I want to poll. What do you want to do next on Wildy and Tausch? No. Jesse, what was your poll question and what have the returns been?
By request in the YouTube comments on the ESPN Madison YouTube channel.
Request by who? Ashton Rotman?
No, one of the dwellers said you should put a poll up. I said, all right, sure.
Ashton doesn't make requests; he makes demands.
I said, sure.
That's the truth.
Let's do it. So, what grade do you give Brian Gutekunst for his 2026 NFL Draft Class selections? And your four options were because you only could do
incomplete.
You only could do four options. No, that wasn't one of them. We had A, B, C, or D or F.
Oh, nice.
D or F only got 4% of the vote. $2.3
million. A recent Schwab survey of